Night. My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching ABL Live. Happy early Thanksgiving to everybody. Hopefully, you guys are able to enjoy your holiday. Maybe you got some time off, maybe you don't. But whatever it is, I'm glad y'all right here with me live on the show. Of course, I will be eating some good foods tomorrow, but I had to come holler at you guys today. I was kind of busy today. There wasn't a whole lot going on, so that's why no videos today. But I had to come with a live show, and I'm glad y'all are here. Thank y'all for joining. If you're just now coming in, please give the video a thumbs up. Like it, share it, do all that good stuff. But we got quite a few topics, quite a few interesting things that have happened. And I got some views that may be a little bit controversial, perhaps. Chick-fil-A is getting canceled by many on the right, but I'm not necessarily joining the cancel party. I think that Chick-fil-A is a great organization, the best customer service out of any fast food I had, great chicken, an overall great environment. Now, their corporate structure could be kind of questionable, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the individual restaurants are going to be any more or less good for me. And as far as the questions that are had, I think it might be kind of overblown, but we get to all of that. Thanksgiving is coming up. Is there a war on Thanksgiving? We'll talk about that. Black support for Trump is rising. People like Navarro are triggered. Trans athletes dominating. What's really going on? We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I thank y'all for joining yet again. I definitely appreciate you. Please hit the like button, share the video. And if you're not subscribed, I don't know what you're doing. Go ahead and subscribe right now. I would appreciate that a lot. But we have a lot going on tonight. And like I said, happy early Thanksgiving, happy holidays, whatever it is. You see, I got a different little background. I got some leaves falling just for the holiday. I got it just for today. I wanted something a little bit different. So hopefully y'all can enjoy that. But yeah, we got a whole lot of stuff that is happening. Chick-fil-A. Now, I guess what happened with Chick-fil-A is that it was found out that they donated to the SPLC, Southern Poverty Law Center, in 2017. So people are saying that Chick-fil-A is canceled and they don't want to deal with Chick-fil-A and they betrayed conservatives, but I don't really see it that way. I think Chick-fil-A is still a good place. You know, hey, the customer service has not changed since this information was found out. When I go in there, it's always a good time. They're always nice. They're always kind and courteous. It's always good. And this whole thing with the, SPLC donations, okay, that was going on in 2017, right? But at the same time in 2017, they also gave to the Salvation Army. So on one hand, people say that Chick-fil-A are wrong for ending their contract, which it is a contract with Salvation Army, which they were giving money to them in the contract in a charitable donation. They're wrong for ending that in 2018, which means in 2017 they were still giving to them. And they're also wrong for giving to the SPLC in 2017. It looks like they just give to a lot of different groups. Maybe they don't see the SPLC the same way we see it. I don't really know. But whatever the case may be, the charitable donations of an organization don't really bother me that much. As long as they're not given to like an illegal group or something. If it's a legal group, I'm not really that concerned about it. That's a corporate thing. That's not necessarily indicative of the individual restaurants. Okay. As far as I know, Chick-fil-A's are a franchise. And if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. Even if they're not, you got regular normie employees working in there. The general managers, the line cooks or whatever. You got regular normies in there working. So I'm not going to punish the regular normies because of some high up exec and what they do. You understand what I'm saying? To me, it's just kind of like not really fair. And I think that if a lot of the people that work at Chick-fil-A believe in a certain thing, they would want to have Chick-fil-A donate to who they want to donate to as far as, more Christian organizations. Furthermore, news is being spread that they do not donate to Christian organizations anymore. That's not true. They still donate to Christian organizations. They're donating to Covenant House right now. And then the goalposts get moved. They say, yeah, they give to Covenant House, but Covenant House is friendly to LGBT. Okay, so at first it was they don't give to Christian organizations. Then when that gets disproven, it becomes, well, that's not the right kind of Christian organization. One group that they were given to, the FDC or whatever that was. Um, it's a Christian group for athletes. They were given to them, and they stopped that, I think, in 2018, 19 as well. They have had a lot of issues with them because some of their parents were not really cool with the whole hip hop direction they've gone in. Okay, if you have a Christian organization for athletes, why are you incorporating this degenerate culture in there of some of the, the not hip hop in a positive way, not positive stuff? You're talking about like some of that drug culture, rap. Why would you incorporate that into a Christian group? Number one. Number two, Salvation Army. I'm a big fan of theirs. I'm going to go donate to the people out there with the bill. However, they support abortion in certain circumstances, rape, incest, life of the mother, health of the mother, mental health of the mother. And they've also given to groups that could be considered pro-abortion. So they got their own problems. I think my point about Chick-fil-A and what I'm making here is that if you look into the background of any organization and the higher ups, you may see some things that could cause you some concern if you really want to dig into it. As soon as the whole thing with Chick-fil-A happened, then it was an examining of all the people that they donated to with a fine-tooth comb and a magnifying glass. Oh, in 2017, you gave to the SPLC. How much did they give? Who knows? It could have been $1, $1 million, the lint in their pocket. Who knows? But they gave to the SPLC. Therefore, we're going to cancel them. I'm not really into that. It's kind of like the cancel culture on the left, in my humble opinion. I don't look at that. I'm looking at Chick-fil-A for being a good restaurant with good food and good people in it. The questionable choices by their higher ups don't really affect me that much. And there's other groups, other Christian faith-based organizations that have questionable practices. And once you get, like I said, once you get into the core of everybody, you can find something you don't like. Now, I get it. People were saying that, well, they're a faith-based company. They're Christian. They talked about, traditional marriage, one man, one woman. And many of us defended them when other people reacted against them, when they're getting protested by the LGBTQIA, ABCD community, when they're not really allowed in certain places, airports, certain countries or whatever. We got their back. However, I think you could still have their back and defend them even right now when it's a thing that you're not necessarily on board with. That's just my humble opinion. That's just how I look at it. It is what it is. So shout out to Chick-fil-A. I don't think this is a thing that is really going to just make me cancel them. I'm just, it takes a lot for me to cancel you personally. I talk about a lot of different things that are going on, and I think some of the things that are happening with some of these companies are much more egregious than what Chick-fil-A did. And if you had missed it, if you're just not coming in, what Chick-fil-A did was they stopped donating to 3 Christian organizations, or faith-based or faith-related organizations. One was a group for Christian athletes. Another was Salvation Army. And there was another one, I forgot the name of it. 3 groups out of many that they've donated to in the past. And then it was discovered today that they donated to the SPLC, Southern Poverty Law Center, which is not a good group to donate to. My whole point is that that's not really enough for me to cancel them outright. I'm going to still support them. I'm going to still rock with Chick-fil-A. That's just kind of how I deal with it. So thank you to everybody that's in here. I appreciate it. 100%. Yeah, the politics and the chicken is kind of hard to mix, from my humble opinion. There you go. Lisa Burnside says Chick-fil-A is a business, not a church. Jesus once says to love everyone and pray for your enemies. There you go. Exactly. Now, one thing I will say is that I don't think that Chick-fil-A making these moves is going to really sway the opinion about them worldwide as somehow some kind of anti-LGBT organization. They're still going to be seen as bigoted and hateful by some because they have a faith-based origin and have faith-based practices. Being closed on Sunday, some people look at Christianity as bigotry in itself. So they're not going to be able to get beyond that. It's just business moves they're making. Some may say it's capitulating to the left. I mean, I can't really see it. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. I don't really see strong evidence of that, quite frankly. But maybe I'm wrong. Either way it goes, I still like Chick-fil-A. They still got a good restaurant. I've been supporting them this long. I'm not going to just throw them away because of this thing here. That's just not how I operate personally. Now if Chick-fil-A stops selling a thing that I like, if they come out and say, okay, no more chicken or something like that, or we're going to open on Sunday, now that's something different. Now you're just abandoning your core principles. But as far as who you donate to, that's a whole different thing. Now what Chick-fil-A could do is not give to anybody at all. They could do that. Now you got a whole different narrative going on. Now they're not altruistic. They're stingy. They're hoarding their money. This, that, and the third. So it is what it is. Okay. Now what else we got going on? And thank y'all for joining. I definitely appreciate you. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your holiday wherever you are. If you off tonight, today, you working tonight, tomorrow, whatever it is, just hopefully you guys are enjoying your time. What else we got here? Hold on. Oh yeah. Now, here's another thing people got triggered about. Not those of us on the right. We didn't get triggered about this. We appreciate this story. The black support for Trump rising through the roof. There was a couple of polls that came out. One from Emerson College, another one from what was that? It was Emerson College and one more place. I forget what it was. But there were two polls that came out, and the numbers say that black support for Trump in the polls were at like right around 34%. Okay. Which is very high. I mean, Trump allegedly had about 8% of the black vote in 2016. So for the polls to say, Rasmussen. So Emerson College and Rasmussen, 34% each. Emerson said 34.5. Rasmussen said 34%. So two different polls. I'm assuming two different sets of participants, two different pools from which they polled. Both had 34%. Okay. Now, people are upset talking about, oh, this can't be true. Who did they talk to? People like Navarro, who is a Hispanic, but at the end of the day is a white lady. Keep it real. A white Hispanic, but I digress. She came out and said, how is this possible? There's no effing way. You're talking about Kanye and David Clark and the spandex and Cubert zirconia lady talking about Diamond and Silk, insulting people with racially loaded language, right? From a white lady that speaks Spanish, and to the left, that's fine. And what's worse, that she claims to be a Republican. Why does she masquerade as a Republican? Like, these people on the left, they always try to put on disguises. It's like, all right, Anna Navarro, you're Hispanic and that's fine, but you're just a white lady at the end of the day. That's just really what it is. So you masquerade as a minority. You're not really that. You masquerade as being a conservative. You're not really that. You masquerade as being tolerant and respectful and loving and generous and kind, but you're not really that. They always do that on the left. One thing I saw by being on the left and then going to the right is that as long as you're on the left will love you. They'll be your best friend. They'll try to defend you at any turn. They'll do whatever they can to keep you as a friend or an ally. They'll do whatever you can, right? But as soon as you kind of get off the quote unquote plantation, you kind of think for yourself a little bit, you kind of think a little bit differently, think outside the box. Now, all of a sudden, you become an enemy. You're a sworn enemy. They hate you. They can't stand you. They want you to get out of their sight. That's usually how that works. And Navarro and many others aren't much different. Now, the poll data may not necessarily be representative of the final vote. I mean, I think in 2016, the black support for Trump, according to polls, was at 16%. And the final voting data came out to be 8%. So if we're going off of that math, which may or may not be the exact same thing here, if we're going off of that, you're talking about basically doubling up in the poll numbers. So why not double up in the vote? Let's say it goes from 8 to 16. 16% of the black community that voting for Donald Trump will be devastating to the left. Devastating. They depend on 90% bare minimum from the black vote. They depend on that. So if it goes down to 85%, 84%, or less than 80% is over. This is why the left are trying to import all these people from the third world or wherever, all over the country, all over the world, pardon me. They're trying to get them in here from all over the world. And then the end goal is to get amnesty for all of them so they're able to vote in federal elections. I think if you have a green card, you're able to vote in local elections. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But I know in some places you're able to vote if you're not a citizen. California is one, talking about, oh, it's just small local elections. The end game is to get illegal aliens, not green card holders, not those that are here on a visa, illegal aliens with no papers at all. The goal is to get them to vote in the federal election because they know the black vote is leaving them. You're seeing it more and more every day. You got black voices for Trump, blacks for Trump, black women for Trump, Latinos for Trump, X, Y, and Z. You got LGBT for Trump. You got all these special interest groups that had generally been in the bag for the Democratic Party just going away, walking away, and doing something else. They see that happening. Now they got to try to show up the numbers by bringing in more people to vote for them. Importing people, like really kind of like paying people to come over here to vote for them. They're talking about election interference. I mean, what's really going on? The election interference here is from the left, taking over the media and also importing people to vote for them. Very simple. Exactly, Red Rocket. If Trump gets 20% of the black vote, it is a done deal for the Democrats. It's over with. 1,000%. So I'm ready, man. I can't wait. I cannot wait for that day to come. The Rapper 10,000 says, get this, CNN thinks that we are brainwashed by Trump and the only way to cure us is to watch CNN this Thanksgiving. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do that. CNN, I watch CNN occasionally, like on clips and stuff, because I got to see what they're talking about just because of what I do. But it's hard to watch it. I mean, Don Lemon and these people over there, I read them more than I watch them. I read their articles on their website. It's better than their primetime stuff because when they get on primetime, the whole objective is just to try and attack Trump and to attack Trump supporters. That's the whole objective. And also to spin anything negative about the Democrats in a positive light. You got Hunter Biden found with a crack pipe and a hooker and a brothel in some third world country. Oh, well, Hunter was just enjoying himself. He was on vacation. He's going through a tough time. Is that and the third. They'll spin it just to make themselves look better because they're all in bed together. The left, the politicians, and people places like CNN, people like Jeff Zucker, the big dog over at CNN, they're all in the same kind of category. They're all in the same little group with each other. That's pretty much how that goes. So it is what it is. Yeah, CNN is terrible. They do race bait all day, Jessica. Now, see, the articles, to me, I can stomach them a little bit better because I can read it how I like to read it. Like, I don't necessarily read it in Don Lemon's voice. You know, but when I'm watching Don Lemon and I see his face and all that, just the expressions and the vocal tone, it just kind of gets on my nerves. Just that right there. Like, what they're saying, of course, is just BS, too. Like, the words they're saying are actual BS, but the body language and stuff like that is also wearing me out as well. That's one of the main thing. Yeah, they found Hunter Biden with a crack pipe, smoking crack. I mean, the dude, he's a confirmed crackhead. Everybody knows that. It's not even a secret at this particular point in time. But the media will try to conceal that. It's weird how that happens, but at the same time, it's not weird once you understand what they're all about. It is what it is. I don't know about Q, Nels, Mohawk. People ask me about that, but I don't follow it, so I don't know anything. So shout out to all you guys that do follow Q, but I just don't know. It is what it is. Okay, what else we got going on here? Thank you for joining yet again. We got 384 live in the building early. What else we got? So, it is Thanksgiving time. It's upon us. You see my background. I got the falling leaves, the autumn theme behind me. I'm ready for it, but some are saying that Thanksgiving is racist. It shouldn't be celebrated. It should be abolished because it's a celebration of tyranny and oppression of indigenous peoples. Now, here's my thing about, so-called oppression of indigenous peoples. There's always been groups of people that dominate other groups of people. That's always been the case. There's never been a time where that wasn't the case. It's always been like that. There's always been conquest. There's always been winners and losers. That's just the way of the world. It is what it is. You got the same thing happening in Africa, Asia, Europe, North America, South America, Australia. Wherever you have human beings, you have conquest. Before the white man came to Australia, there were 900 Aboriginal tribes on the continent of Australia. All had a little part of the island they claimed to themselves. And if you were from a different tribe and stepped foot into their particular territory, you would get killed instantly. Go to the Andaman Islands right there in the North Indian Ocean, if I'm not mistaken, where you got these people that are like, smoke black, been on their island forever. They're just not civilized at all. Try to set foot on that island, you're going to get hit with a hail of arrows. That's how that works. That's how human beings have been. You're talking about trying to combat humanity. You're talking about, conquest is bad. Nah, that's just humanity. That's just life. If you want to protest Thanksgiving and protest a lot of different holidays all over the world, not just in white countries, but all over the place. Japan, China. I mean, China is imperialist. Japan's imperialist. Tibet at one point was a sovereign country, not no more. China said that belongs to us now. Hong Kong was sovereign at one point or semi-sovereign. What's going on with them? Taiwan, aka Chinese Taipei. I mean, there's always been conquest all over the world. There was an Ottoman Empire at one point. Now there's not anymore. Istanbul was Constantinople at one point. These things happen. This is just the way of the world. So people say, oh, well, you shouldn't celebrate Thanksgiving. It's racist. Please. People need to stop. It is not racist. It is an American tradition that we can all enjoy. It doesn't matter who you are, what color you are, whatever. And I enjoy that part about being an American. We do have things that bind us all together. We celebrate Christmas, 4th of July, Thanksgiving. These are American holidays, things that we can enjoy together. We all know about going to the dinner table and having these awkward family encounters. I'm not going to put on my MAGA hat at a Thanksgiving table. I'm not going to do it because I don't want no political talk. But you got some guys that are going to do that, and it's going to be a fight between Junior and the dad, and grandma might get into it. We all can relate to that because it's part of American culture, American society. But see, some people don't want to engage in American culture or American society. They want to not integrate. They want to have their own little thing going on. And my thing is like this. If you don't want to integrate into American society, if you don't want to participate in our cultures at all, then why be here? Just to get money? I think that's unfair. You should go somewhere else where you can where there is no culture, no society or whatnot. This is what my man was talking about over in Canada. I forget his name. Please forgive me. You guys know what I'm talking about. My man that got fired. Hold on. I'm going to bring his name up. Oh, Don Cherry. That's my name. Don Cherry. Don Cherry, a hockey legend in Canada, a TV legend in Canada, had been on the CBC for like almost 40 years. He got fired for saying the same thing I'm saying. It's like, look, I don't care. You come here, you want to take part in this country, partake in our milk and honey, but you don't want to participate in our traditions. You don't want to put on a poppy to commemorate the fallen soldiers. Go out there, get a poppy for $2, put it on your chest, and just participate in that with us. How hard is that to ask? When you see national anthem, hand on heart, Pledge of Allegiance, is that in the third? 4th of July, Thanksgiving, Christmas, at least some of the things you can just participate in with us because it's an American tradition. That's all. So when people say, oh, it's racist and all this and that, tell them, nah, this is America. And we're all as one. We can all enjoy this together. It's not a thing that is meant to divide us. It's meant to unite us. So shout out to everybody for your Thanksgiving traditions. Whether you just respect the holiday, you don't participate, whether you're going to eat a big dinner, you're going to a restaurant or whatever it is. I used to work in a restaurant on Thanksgiving Day, and it'd be like a big family in there. People with their whole family, or if you didn't have family, you'd be in there hanging out with us because everybody recognizes what that day is and what it means to Americans. So it is what it is. Okay, so what else we got? There's a whole lot going on. We got 435 in the building. Thank y'all for joining. Definitely appreciate you. Kim Bone says one of the turkeys Trump pardoned was named Barack. That's hilarious. But what else we got here? Now, have you guys seen that story about the transgender athlete dominating women's sports? This guy over in Australia, 6'2", 220 pounds. Pardon me, playing in the Australian Women's Handball League. Now, I don't know what people are thinking about. Obviously, if you're looking like that, you built like that, you're a male, you're gonna dominate over a bunch of 5'4", 120-pound women. It is unfair for you to be there, sir. Now, like I said in my video, you can call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. You can call yourself Princess Zelda, the Diamond Princess, Princess Diana, whatever you want to call yourself, the Queen of England. I don't care. That's what you want to call yourself. That's your business. That's your particular life. Don't stop. Don't let me stop you from having fun. Do whatever you want to do. However, when it comes to actually trying to participate in women's sports, and of course you're playing their particular field, I got a problem with that. 1,000%. It is not right that you're able to go in there and do whatever you want with women's sports as a male. Talking about, oh, I'm a female now. No. That's not how that works. You might think you're a female, but your biology says you're not. Biology says you still have your twig and berries. You were born with your package. Your chromosomes are not that of a woman. So what are you doing, sir? You are not a woman. You're a man. You can think you're a woman all you want to. You can dress as a woman, have your long hair, whatever. You can get breasts. But compete with the men because you're biological male. That should be, a basic rule. It shouldn't be seen as some kind of, discrimination thing. It should be seen as doping. You understand? Like, you have a test that you take to make sure that you're not on drugs before you go out and do some of these sports, right? So maybe there should be a test to see if you're a male or a female. How about that? If you take a urine test for drugs and it comes back that you are pregnant, but you say you're a male, maybe that's not right. Maybe you're not a male. Some things are just kind of simple to understand, but for some reason, not everybody sees it the same way. If you're a male, compete with the men. I don't care what you call yourself, how you feel on the inside, it is irrelevant. Just compete with the men. If you're female, compete with the females. So simple. It is what it is. Now, I'm glad that AFL in Australia, the football league, that he was trying to dominate with the women, I'm glad they said, no, sir, you're not going to be able to do this. It's not right. It's not fair. Just get away from us. So I'm glad they said that. Hopefully you had the same thing going on with the handball league he's part of, because that's just not right. It is what it is. Andrew Smith says, I'm a trans person who identifies as normal. Does it work? Hey, I don't know. I don't think so, sir, ma'am, Sam, whatever the pronouns are. I do not think so. Like I said, people can be whatever they want, but at the end of the day, your biology says it is what it is. Heather Swanson, is that person's name? Hold on. Let me look this up right quick. That might have been the person's name. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I think I see something right here. Okay. Am I seeing it? No, I guess I'm not. It might have been the wrong person. Now, Heather Swanson was just like the Olympic athlete. Oh, no, this is the South Park episode. I see it with this guy looking like Randy Savage on there. Yeah, that's crazy. Now, okay, I do see somebody that looks like they might be kind of questionable. I see this big neck. I don't know. Like, okay, there's a Olympic dancer. Is that a male? If it is a male, then I'm fooled. I'm totally fooled. Now, I gotta see the episode of South Park, dog. I keep hearing about that. I've not seen that quite yet. I've not seen that. Yeah, South Park. That's it. Now, let me see. I'm gonna just go ahead and go through some of the chat here to see what's happening. And thank y'all for joining. Get a video a like if you've not done so already. Also, subscribe if you've not done so already. Yeah, look, I identify as the finish line. So when I'm in the race, I can just cut myself, like I can just cut my shirt or something, and then once I cut it, I've won. So I identify as a finish line. I win every race. At a certain point, it's like, when do we stop, entertaining people's mental illness or their fantasy about who they are, what they look like, or what they actually, like I said, if a person wants to be known as Princess Zelda, that's their business. I don't got nothing to do with that. But when they think they actually are that, and then they start trying to get into, King the Hyrule Castle in real life, is like, all right, well, let's put a break, let's put a pause on that. This is not really going to work out well for you. You're not actually that. You are your name is but your name is April Johnson. Your name is not Princess Zelda in reality. I thank God for being here. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Filthy Phil, who says, Imam with the little S. I got to go back and then I'm going to read it from the beginning because that's kind of a correction. So let's read from the beginning. Shout out to Filthy Phil, who says, did you see Imam of Peace? He wanted to correct himself live a while ago. What are your thoughts on the Ilhan scandal Qatari agent? Now, I've seen some of that, but I've not looked into it pretty well. So I need to get him on the show, actually, the Imam of Peace. I met him in Miami a few weeks ago. Matter of fact, that's him right there. So yeah, I met him a few weeks ago at the Ant Fest in Miami. Shout out to the people at Ant Fest, great people. And he told me right there, he was like, look, if you want me on your channel, just say so. We can go ahead and get it done. So this might be a good time because you got Ilhan Omar. I don't know a lot about that. I like to ask him about Ilhan Omar and what's really going on so I can figure out what's happening. You got people talking about, the story is fake. It's not really real. He's a fake imam, and he's that and the third. But I want to hear from him what he's got to say about it, because there's always multiple sides to a story. I feel like he would have a lot of information. He's in that world of the Islam and the Muslim stuff. He's in that world, so maybe he know more than I do. He might know about the Qataris and the Saudis and just Islam in general on a deeper level than most people. So shout out to Imam of Peace, Imam Tahiti. I'm going to try to get him on the show so we can talk about that specific thing. But thank you for the donation, man. Definitely appreciate you. And shout out to Bucolic Buffalo, who says, Mr. Logan, you and your family have a great Thanksgiving, sir. And thank you for that, man. It means a lot to me. Thank you for your super chat. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Myla Bell, who says, hello, my friend. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you. Well, thank you for your very kind words and your super chat donation. I definitely appreciate you for that. And same to you. Happy Thanksgiving. Shout out to Hello 502, who said, my sister-in-law is annoying every Thanksgiving, man. Can't go one Thanksgiving without her thinking I'm offended on a holiday I love celebrating. Yeah, man, it's rough. But you know what? At the table, I don't talk about any politics. Whenever it's brought up, I kind of like give it the little, the rolling shoulder. It's like you're getting the Mayweather treatment. Hit me with a jab, I'm just rolling out the way. Because I don't want to talk about any politics at all. I totally just try to avoid it because it's just not even really the wave. But thank you for your super chat, man. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Bucolic Buffalo, who says, look up Heather Swanson. Oh, yeah. That's what I just saw with the whole South Park situation. And thanks to my man 50 Phil, who says, happy Thanksgiving, ABL, a huge fan. Right back at you, man. Happy Thanksgiving to you. And thank you for your kind words and your super chat. Definitely appreciate you. 1,000%. Let me see. But yeah, the whole Ilhan Omar thing, if she is funded by the Qataris, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Young Turks are also funded by the Qataris. They got a lot of the Qatar money in there, so that's not a surprise at all. That's just kind of a normal thing, quite frankly. I think they fund a lot of the leftist dissidents in the United States. And people say that the Saudis shouldn't be friendly with it. It's weird. Like you could kind of tell who's being attacked as to whose side you should be on sometimes. People in America in politics, mostly on the left, say that the right shouldn't be friends with the Qataris. I mean, with the Saudis, pardon me, because they killed Jamal Khashoggi, this, that, and the third. It's like, well, look, first of all, Jamal Khashoggi apparently was a traitor. And if you are a traitor in America, the crime could be punished with death. That's called sedition. So, I mean, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but that's their laws. That's their business. What you want me to do? You know, I mean, look, if you get caught doing a crazy crime over here, you also get a death sentence. People get sentenced to death every day. People get electric chair, lethal injection, all that kind of stuff. So how am I going to say that they're wrong for doing what they did? That's their business. At the end of the day, he was not a U.S. citizen. He was a citizen of what? Turkey or Saudi. So that's their business. That's their people. That's their particular way they handled it. It is what it is. But the left say that Saudis are evil and bad. The Qataris, from what I know, don't like the Saudis. The Qataris are funding Ilhan Omar. I heard also AOC, not directly, but through Cenk, Young Turks, Justice Democrats, and people like that. They're being funded that way. They got a lot of hands in different pots in America. You know, so what's really going on? Ilhan Omar is totally corrupt from top to bottom. The whole thing with Qatar is icing on the cake. I mean, we saw the whole thing with the immigration fraud, the marriage fraud, the bigamy, adultery. All of that right there is haram. If she was in Somalia still, you're talking about 1,000 lashes. You understand what I'm saying? Stoned to death, because all of that is crazy. If it were a divorce proceeding over here in the States, her husband would get awarded a lot of money, probably because, you know, you got adultery going on. You got all kind of stuff happening that she's involved with. It might even be a criminal offense with the whole thing with the marriage fraud. At least the immigration fraud could be a criminal sentence. Civil, most certainly, but definitely criminal is possible. So it is what it is. I know where he got chopped up, Roy. No need for the name calling, sir or ma'am, whatever it is. But it was a Saudi embassy. If you know anything about embassies, the embassy is just like an extension of your country on foreign soil. So what you gonna do? It is what it is. You know, like I said, I'm not saying it's right, but that's their situation. That's their business. What you want to do? Like, imagine them coming over here talking about, oh, well, you can't execute this person or that person because it ain't right. You know, that's against our laws and our morals. Be like, man, you better get out of here. I'll do whatever I want to do. This is America. And they got the same right to do whatever they want to do. What, you gonna go over there and be a world cop and say, oh, you can't do that to that person? That's their country. Now, if it were an American citizen, that's something different, because we have the right to protect our citizens and to defend them when they become harmed by anybody. But not an American citizen. Like when you hear it in the media, they'll say U.S. base. What does that mean, U.S. base? That means that he might have lived here for a while. Not a citizen at the end of the day. So it is what it is. Have I read the Quran? No, I've read passages, but I've not read the whole book. Kim Bone says the Joker is over $1 billion at the box office, not even on Blu-ray yet. Hey, I've not seen that yet. I'm terrible. It's to the point now I might as well just wait for the Blu-ray or wait for Netflix or something. Just wait for it to come out that way, because it's been so long since it's been out. I'm missing all the cultural references, the memes I don't even understand. You got the guy running through the street. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, it must be something that is related to the movie, but I don't even know what's happening. I got to see it just one day, take some time, which I don't have, and just check it out for myself. They want us eating bugs Thanksgiving? No, thanks. So no, thank you. I don't think so. Let me see. Hold on. I saw something that I wanted to read here. Exactly. Thank you, No Little King. He says North Americans have normalized killing babies and want to look down on the Middle East. Exactly. It's like, look, we done had millions upon millions of babies being killed on a yearly basis. At least 1 or 2 million babies killed in the USA alone on a yearly basis. But then when Jamal Khashoggi gets killed by his own people, for what being a traitor and sedition and trying to destabilize the region. Oh, this is terrible. And come on, man. Like it doesn't make any sense. The level of outrage for what happened to him versus what happens to people in abortion clinics, it doesn't compare. It doesn't make any logical sense. It's all about just trying to push a certain political narrative. T. Michelle says, what do I think about Bloomberg? Any chance of the nomination? No chance. He'll do fairly well, but no chance of the nomination. What I thought was funny is that he's polling at 3%, which is the same as Kamala Harris, like right now. And she's been grinding since like Trump came into office. She just as a senator has been, always on TV, giving some impassioned speech about some kind of random bill that nobody cares about on C-SPAN that gets put on the internet and highlighted as some kind of powerful moment. She's been grinding like that since like she became a senator in 2017. Here comes Bloomberg. After like a day, he's tied with her in the polling. That is hilarious. But he won't be able to get the nomination, I don't think. I think it'll still be Pocahontas, maybe even Sleepy Joe or Bernie. Now you got Buttigieg coming up. They're saying Buttigieg is number 2 behind Joe in the polls. That's interesting. And I think Pocahontas is number 3 or 4 behind Bernie, or she could be number 3 in front of Bernie. Very interesting. Now, the only thing about Bloomberg is that he has his own money. So that's the only thing. And he can use the Bloomberg news outlet for propaganda purposes. That's what he does. People that's what they'll do. Bloomberg was great for New York City. I don't know anything about that. So if he was, he was. But for the nation, I'm not quite sure. Well, definitely, I know I'm not sure about the nation because he's on the left, number 1. He's running as a Democrat. But beyond that, he says that he is not in line with anything that the right has because somebody asked him and said, hey, you are kind of a conservative. Just run on the right. He was like, no, I can't do that. My core values are not anything like theirs. I don't have anything I agree with them on. That's what he said on TV. So I would not want him to be the president at all. Trump 2020 all day long. Oh, no, I won't sleep on Bloomberg. I won't sleep on him, but I think it's a little bit too late in the game. He can make some waves, but I don't know about that. I don't know that he'll be able to actually be successful. Let me see. Lisa Burnside says, do I know how many black girls and boys are gone without a voice to Planned Parenthood? Over 22 million since 1973 Roe v. Wade. 22 million. One half of our population is not even here. One half of us as black Americans aren't even here. Because we're only about 36 million strong. I mean, people say, how can we only be 13% of the population? It's been the same way for years and years and years. Well, if you have negative growth, then you won't be able to get beyond where you're at. You don't have immigration. You don't have your birth rate above replacement. Our birth rate in the black community in America is about 1.96. Replacement in the West is 2.1, meaning you need to average 2.1 children per couple to achieve replacement. To keep the population consistent, you need that. Once you get below replacement, you start to have declining population. You can only get more numbers by importing more people or having more babies. That's it. Most people that are white in America came after slavery. That's the truth. People don't want to say that, but that's the reality. That's how you have whites as a majority in the country versus anybody else, is because of importing people. Now, the new thing is, let's bring in more Hispanics from Latin America and have them vote Democrat. But let's not have it be the proper way, because if it were just the proper way of immigration, whoever comes here, I'm cool with, as long as it's the proper way, and it's not going to be easy road. However, what's happening is that they're allowing the southern border to be open, or they're trying to keep it open to allow them to come over here in droves, and then the end game is to give them amnesty so they can vote. And they want them to vote for the Democratic Party because the Democratic Party tried to get them over here to begin with. They pushed for them to come over here so They expect the loyalty to be to them because they were the ones championing for their cause. To be over here illegally, then they get amnesty. That's the end game. So if you have a Bill Clinton, not Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, she could run, or a Bloomberg, or Kamala Harris, or a Booty Gig, or Creepy Joe, or Pocahontas. If you have them to come into office, the next step would be amnesty, 1,000%. And overnight, you will have 30 million new Democrat voters. At least is what they think. That's their objective. Now, will that be the case? Maybe, maybe not, but that's what they want. So it is what it is. Ohio Bacon says mainstream media are also saying abortion is low these days, supposed. I mean, that could be true, it could be false, but why would they even report that? Are they reporting it because they want to try to promote more abortion? I don't really know. Maybe they're saying, well, abortion is low. We need to increase our numbers. So let's put some more money towards promoting abortion. That could be it. You know, when you have these protests and everybody has on Planned Parenthood t-shirts and professionally made signs, how much does that cost? Where does that money come from? Who paid for that? Is it a promotion? Is it marketing? I'm a marketer by trade. Before I became a YouTuber, I was a marketer. I mean, graphic design, anything with marketing, online, offline, that's what I did. My dad was in the same kind of, like, it's kind of in my blood. Dad became a firefighter, but if he was not a firefighter, he was going to go into marketing because we're just naturally good at grabbing attention in different ways. But being in marketing, I understand how some of these campaigns operate. Anytime I see a sign that is professionally made and printed, I know that it's money that goes behind it. I know how much those signs cost. I've bought signs like that. I've made signs like that. I've put signs out like that. They cost a lot of money. It's not cheap. If you're just a regular Joe with a shirt that's custom made for the event, with a custom sign, nice and glossy, and you know, you got these big 24 by 36 signs, double-sided, full color, high gloss, with sticks and everything else in a short period of time, that's expensive. Where's the money come from? It's funded. It's a marketing campaign that's funded by outside sources. It's simple. Now, I want to see who Barack Obama supports coming up in the election because his man, his stick man, his friend, his homie, Deval Patrick has now joined the race. Now, Barack Obama wanted Deval Patrick to run in 2020 since 2017 or 18. He was trying to convince him to run, but he had a sick wife, so he didn't want to do it. Now, I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe his wife is better, but he's in the race. David Axelrod, Barack Obama's wingman or whatever you want to call him, tried to get Patrick to run as well. And I heard that at the same time, Obama tried to get Joe Biden to not run. I also heard through the grapevine that Barack Obama said that Joe Biden does not have it, whatever it is, that it factor. Biden doesn't have it. And he's right. I mean, you see him out there squirming and worming. He's not really on point. He's not the kind of guy that I have any kind of confidence in to become the president. If I were on the left, I'd be like, this guy right here is shaky as a bag of kittens that are newborn. It ain't really going to work the way you want it to. You understand what I'm saying? So I think he's correct that Joe Biden does not have it. Who does have it? I'm not really sure if anybody does on the Democratic side of things. Maybe he thinks Deval Patrick has it. That kind of cool black guy, light skin, whatever. I'm not saying that because that's what I think. Maybe that's what he thinks. But I don't know. Who is this guy really? You coming in late. There's no build up. It's not really a thing that's going to work out. Cory Booker does not have it. He tried to get it by quote unquote dating Rosario Dawson, but that ain't working out. She's not even really with the program. You might see her every now and again. That's not really a good look for your boss. So, yeah, they don't have anybody. Trump has it, but nobody on their side have it. So it doesn't even really matter. You might as well just go ahead and just lay down and let Trump win. Don't waste no money on an election for what? I mean, if you want to spend money on an election, that's fine, but you're not really going to be able to succeed. So what's the purpose? What are you really doing? What is it? It's that certain, that the je ne sais quoi, that factor about yourself that is attractive to certain people. The thing that will attract people to you and make them listen to what you're saying, not by force, but by curiosity, by being amused, enthused, or whatever by you. A star factor, something that makes you stand out above the rest. You know, when Trump's on stage, when he was on stage in 2015 and 2016 during that cycle, he had it. You got 18, 45 guys on stage, right? And he stands out. He's a celebrity, yes, but that's not even really it. It was just him that stood out. Star quality, correct. Yeah, Cory Booker has no chance at all. Charisma, presence, that's right. Absolutely. Dexterity, I think Joe Biden might need some of that dexterity because, you know, if he had a dexterity rating, it'd be close to 0 because I mean, I'm telling you, one day he's going to be on stage and just fall over. And I don't want to see that happen to him. I think he should just drop out before that happens because that'd be a terrible sight. If that man breaks a hip on stage, I'm going to be no more good. I'm going to be all to pieces. 1,000%. And thank y'all for being here. I definitely appreciate you. Please hit the like button if you've not done so already. You know, I definitely appreciate you, boss and bossettes. Spencer says, vote for Joe 2020, free massages and delightful hair smelling. Hilarious. Now, you know what? Michelle Obama has a very masculine aura to herself, but she would be more successful than anybody running right now. I said it before over and over again. If you put Michelle Obama and Oprah in there, they will have some success. Now, would they win? No, which is why they won't run, because they know they won't win. They might try in 2024 when Trump is finished, but right now they have no chance. Trump is doing very well. The economy is doing well. People like the incumbent. His base is not going anywhere. 95% approval rating in the Republican Party. I mean, people talking about, oh, you could have Bill Weld come in here and take some votes. Am I taking the votes for Trump? Nobody's going to be able to primary Trump and take no votes away. If Bloomberg ran third party, it would not take votes away from Trump. It might take votes from the Democratic Party, but it would not take votes from Trump. So it doesn't even really matter. What we're trying to do now is get voters that we did not have in 2020. And that's going to happen. You're going to see Trump win the popular vote and the electoral college vote, of course, this time. He'll win both, not just the electoral, because he'll have more votes overall, in my humble opinion. I see that happening for 1,000% sure. Let me see. Matthew Phillips says, ABL, you're the first person I've heard outside of R. the Donald to say Michelle Obama being masculine. I mean, she is. Keep it all the way real. She has a masculine demeanor. It's simple. Now, she's not a man in my opinion, but she's just masculine. I mean, just kind of rough, just a kind of a scowl on her face. It is what it is. And I think Obama is less masculine. I think they might be kind of like similarly masculine to each other. Now, you know, at one point in time, that used to be okay. You have some masculine women. They might have been called bull daggers or whatever you want to, you know what I mean? There were certain names for masculine women back in the day. Now they want to be transgender and all this and that. It's like, why not just be a masculine, you know, be Rachel Maddow, masculine woman. When you see her on TV, she's looking like kind of androgynous, but when she's off TV, she's looking like Peyton Manning after the playoff run is over with and you didn't win the big dance. You get all the way to the fourth quarter. It's a goal line rush. You try to sneak in and you get blocked at the 1 yard line. That's how she looks on a regular basis. You understand what I'm saying? She's a masculine woman. It is what it is. That's okay. You got feminine men. Richard Simmons, people like that were feminine men. But he never said he's a woman. He's just a feminine dude. It is what it is. Simple. That used to be okay to be masculine and feminine. But now you just want to be a different sex altogether and be like, yo, my name ain't Joe no more. My name is Jolene. That's not right. So, but hey, I'm having a good time. Thank y'all for being here. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Pip Chat Navarro, who says, hi, ABL, top reporting, cheers. Pip, thank you for your super chat. Definitely appreciate you coming all the way from, what's that, Australia? Shout out to Eyes. Thank you guys over there. I know it's probably hot or getting close to fall over there. So it's like different seasons. So right now we're in almost winter. So it was like spring over there, almost summer, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you to CJ, who says, free $2. Shoot, here you go. Sup, bro? And thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. 1000%. Shout out to Lone Caucasian Mill, who said, happy Turkey Day. Hey, right back at you, man. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you to FU Google, or F Google, who says, love you, ABL. Right back at you. Thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Joshua Perez, who says, if Japan had a 2A, Kyoto animation fire would have never happened. Yikes. Hey, you're probably right about that. But then again, you never know, man, because when you're in these public places, when you're in these private buildings, sometimes you can't have your gun. So, it's rough. It's definitely rough. Very hot in eyes. Yeah, that's what I figured, because the seasons are different in the Southern Hemisphere. All right, let's get to some calls here. Let me go ahead and fire it on up. Let's see if Skype wants to work. Let me see. Now, I did not see that. Shout out to BCP, but I did not see that particular video. I'll check it out. But shout out to my man, BCP. T-Pain in the building. What's going on, T-Pain? SW1, thank you for joining. Shout out to everybody in the building. Let's go ahead and get to the calls. The number to call, the number to call is 434-658-1220. Do not be afraid to call. Let me just get myself together, and then we'll go ahead and get into it. All right. All right, caller, you're on the line, 561. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill, this is Jay from South Florida. How you doing, man? Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, same to you, man. How's everything going?
Everything's good, man.
All right, good to hear it.
I forgot to say, man, when I was up there, man, it never crossed my mind. I should have, because I got a conservative New York number. I should have got your number, man. Sometimes I want to call you and just talk to you directly. Like, sometimes I can't wait. Like, I'm at work sometimes.
Yeah. Matter of fact, it's an email address on my website. Hit me there, and I can just contact you that way, so you can get my actual number. This right here is not my number. This is my Skype number.
Yeah, I know it. My girlfriend had a Google number too, so nowadays everybody has two numbers.
Exactly. Yep.
ABL, I haven't called you in a while because I was like watching what's going on with Turning Point and Nick Fuentes. This fiasco was going on.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched the guy's video. The guy is very hypocritical because he talking about Christianity, how about Rob's sexuality, but at the same time he curses a lot. So it's like hypocritical. You say you're Christian, but you curse a lot, and you criticize someone else for their sins. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's really weird. I mean, like the truth is that it's not even about Charlie. Pardon me. It's not even about Rob or any of the morality things, because he's also friends with Milo Yiannopoulos. Had dinner with him. Yeah, had dinner with him, took pictures with him. Had a video recently where he shouted him out and said, hey, join me and Milo and Gavin on this website. So it was like, okay, you're friends with people that you claim to be degenerate. So, I mean, it's not even about any of that. It's about envy of Charlie Kirk. So whatever he can do to try and attack Charlie, he'll do that through whatever means he can. So that's all that's about. It ain't really nothing else to it.
Yeah, I mean, and then he has all these people trying to support him now, going against Kirk and Ben with Michelle, Jesse, Lucas, Mike, even Tucker Carlson, and say, why are we fighting?
But you know what? The thing about it is they don't understand what's going on. They don't understand this internet world. Jesse's 70 years old. He don't be on the internet knowing what's happening with us. He relies on people like Hake and all them to tell him information. And I saw him the other day on a call where he was kind of like understanding what's happening finally, because he keeps getting these calls from people that claim to be supporting him. And he finally said it. He was like, look, why do y'all keep going to these events and, trying to force, like, why try to force them to think the way you think? Like,
right, I think that's their company.
Yeah, right, exactly. I think they're wrong, but let them do what they're going to do. Let them destroy themselves or whatever it is. Don't go over there and try to. And then he was like, start your own event. Like, now he's understanding what's happening. Before, he didn't know. He's not into all this.
Didn't know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, man. I'm not sure if I'm going to the SAS in West Palm Beach. I'm not sure yet, but you're not going to that, are you?
Nah, I'm not going to that one because, I mean, it'll be a cool event to go to, but I've been traveling a little bit too much. I'd have been on like 8 trips this year, so it's a little bit too much traveling. But it might be cool. The only thing about it is that it's going to be a younger crowd, but I don't know if it'd be anybody there that's not like, high school or college age.
Yeah, I saw, man, AB, I wish I knew, man. I wish I knew about Atlanta thing, the Brexit. I said, man, I could have went to that one because I really wanted to go to Atlanta Brexit because I like to travel too, man, because it was nice to go to D.C., but Atlanta I really wanted to go to because there was a white lady, like she was 25 years old at the time when I was 30. She got me into reading. I was watching her YouTube videos and everything. She was from England, and she moved from England to Atlanta, and I wanted to meet her. I was going to thank her for, because when I watched her videos, she got me into reading because she was telling me the benefits of reading, and and then normal girl with no glasses, white hair, brunette hair, everything looked very beautiful, normal and everything. 2016, she cut her hair and started wearing glasses, and then. I don't really check her thing very often, her YouTube channel. Then now I'm checking it now. Long hair, purple hair with glasses.
Wow.
and she moved from Atlanta to Germany, and she's really far left. I said, man, I can't believe the girl I used to like. I liked her, like, I was, like, romantically, and also for her, because she's an international teacher. And she must have went to Atlanta because maybe she feels sorry for black kids in Atlanta. Maybe that's the reason why she went to Atlanta, but now she's in Germany, and now she changed totally to a far-left, crazy girl tweeting out, criticizing conservatives. She's from England, so she criticized Boris Johnson. So, oh, my God.
Oh, man.
I said, you know what? Thank God I didn't meet her because she probably would have hated my guts, me being a conservative.
Right.
I just want to say two more things. Vincent James, I saw him on the video with Uber guy, Politicon. I guess now everything's going to change now because he's with Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they were with each other before because Nick was at Politicon, but I didn't see him at Politicon. I saw Vincent, but I didn't see Nick. Now, granted, Nick is a small guy, so I could have just overlooked him. Not trying to be funny, but I just could have overlooked him. But I
you
did.
Look for everybody, ABL. You're bigger than everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it might have just been the case, but I did see, and Vincent James was cool. He came up to us, and he was just a real nice guy. But I don't know about this whole thing with him and Nick. I think that it might just be he's kind of like joining forces with him because of the whole thing about Charlie. It's kind of a shame, but I think that it'll blow over eventually once people start to really understand what's happening and how this movement is not really moving anywhere.
Right. The thing what Nick's saying about immigrants being Democrat, which is kind of true, but like me, I was an immigrant. I'm an immigrant. And I was just following what everybody else was doing. And as you get older, you change your mind. So he's wrong about that. People do change their mind as they get older. So he needs to get off that all immigrants vote Democrat because they eventually will change. He thinks that they will never change, and they will.
Yeah, and then the thing about it is he was also talking about, the immigration thing is not even about being illegal or whatever. It's about them being non-white. And non-white immigrants tend to vote a certain way. But it's like, okay, look at what's happening right now in Europe. Look at what's happening right now in England, in UK and France and Germany and Sweden and Norway and Denmark. I mean, these are 80-90% white countries, yet they're being overrun by all these migrants. So if you're going to bring them over here, what are they going to vote for if they're already voting for that where they are? So this whole thing about, you got to bring in white people and they're going to vote conservative does not make any sense because in Europe right now, they got a big problem with liberalism coming from whites.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Liberalism is white too. I think it seems like white people are turning liberal more than us.
Yeah, yeah. It's not even, like it just his whole thought process is not really well thought out. So I think people will start to see that as time progresses, and this whole thing will kind of blow over.
Right. All right, ABL man. Thank you, man. Like I said, enjoy your Thanksgiving, man. I guess I'll go on your website and find your email, and I'll talk to you later. All right, man.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, man. Bye bye.
Bye. All right, thanks to my man Jay from South Florida for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. All right, let me just make sure this is okay. There we go. 678, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Nicholas.
All righty, what's going on?
Oh, nothing much. I just wanted to get your opinion on when do you think the craziness will end? The craziness of the left and the craziness of just how people react to each other.
On the left, I'm not really sure when the craziness is going to end. I think what's going to happen is that a lot of these people that are leading the charge on the left, your Ilhan Omar's of the world, even your Nancy Pelosi's of the world, once they kind of crash and burn, that's when you start to see this whole thing slow down. Once they realize that their tactics aren't really working, then this whole thing will slow down. One thing that's kind of keeping them propped up kind of artificially is their dominance over the tech industry and also the mainstream media. But as the mainstream media begins to die, then I think that'll start to impact their grip on society. Now, the biggest hurdle will be the tech industry. That's going to be kind of like the last frontier. I'm not really sure how we're going to get beyond that. There may be some government intervention. I'm not really a fan of having more regulation on the books from, but at a certain point, what are you going to do? If, you're being silenced or just having a certain political point of view and you are not able to participate in the basic means of communication that everybody uses, it's like not being able to have a phone number because you say a thing that the phone operating company does not like. It's not fair. So there may be some government intervention into that, and that might be the fix, or it could be something else. So that might just be how this whole thing comes to an end, or at least it's not as severe.
I don't know. I always hear people like Tim Pool mention kind of, stuff about a potential civil war, and it's kind of frightening, but at the same time, is it a thing that might happen? I don't know.
I don't think so, because I think the average person is not really built for that kind of, we're not really built for that type of, like a civil war. What does that mean? Like a fighting in the street? It ain't, this ain't the 1860s, and people aren't really trained with guns. It just wouldn't really work out. And then the thing about it is, you have certain groups in this country that are very well trained and very well armed. I know some of these guys, you never see them. They're in the shadows, but they're also not in the shadows. They're in the shadows as far as being in a certain militia type group, but they're not in the shadows as far as they're your neighbors. They go to church with you. They go to school with you. They're your friends. So when they come out and they want to fight, those that want to oppose them and what they want are just going to fall. They're going to fall like a church chair. And then you have the military aspect of it and the police. What are they going to do? That's kind of I don't know. The Civil War thing is kind of just, in my opinion, a little bit of fear mongering and or not understanding the American people very well.
Makes sense. I always wonder when people are going to wake up and if they can ever, not be put back to sleep again. I always have this argument with a lot of people that I know about entertainment and media in general, how it almost seems designed to keep you unaware and awake, and sorry, not awake, but asleep, and just disconnected from all things.
Absolutely. I'm with you 100%. People just, if they can get their Netflix, if they can get their baseball games, basketball games, football or whatever, they're pretty much good. They're not really going to be concerned about what's happening in the world and trying to fight or nothing like that. People just, and then now technology made it even worse. You can get anything delivered to your house. You only got to go outside anymore. People are much less engaged in society, unfortunately.
Makes sense. Well, I appreciate your time, man.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Have a good day.
Same to you. All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. But let me get to the next one here. 732, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes.
Who did I call?
This is ABL. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm calling, my name is Angela.
All righty. Hold on. Before you start, I got a little bit of feedback in the background. Can you turn your sound down for me?
My sound?
Yeah,
Okay.
the stream is in the background. I can hear it.
Okay. Is that better?
Just go ahead and turn that off. You can just talk on the phone.
Okay. Is that better?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. I was calling about the transgender issue.
Yeah.
Like the young man that was just in the headlines recently. We're seeing a lot of, about these young men coming out in women's sports and, dominating. And I'm just wondering if maybe these guys may be put there just to prove a point. You know what I'm saying? Like this young man here, I have a hard time really, just kind of, he just doesn't seem like a transgender person to me. And I'm almost, inclined to think, well, maybe, this guy is just trying to send a message,
I mean, that's a good point. It is a good point. But see, I think that if you're going to send a message, you can do that without, constantly doing it. Like, shout out to Zuby. He's a rapper in UK and also very smart guy. He's been all over the place. He's been on Fox News. He's been on with Candace Owens and Dave Rubin and many others. What he did was identify as a woman for like a minute, and he went out and broke a deadlift record in UK, if I'm not mistaken. He did that, proved his point, and then it was over with. He didn't just continue to try and compete and dominate women, all this, that, and the third. I think some of these guys are legitimately trying to identify as women so they can go and crush the women. That's what's happening. Like the movie Jumanji Man back in the day, you had this dude, he was playing basketball pro with the men. He gets kicked out. He's drinking, drugging, or whatever. He doesn't have any more money. Can't get back in the league with the men. So he says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go play with the women and dominate over there. That's what's happening with a lot of these guys. They cannot cut it with the men, so then they go try to compete with the women. And it's being allowed to happen.
Yeah, and that's the part, as a woman, I don't understand. I don't know what's wrong, what's going on with my gender, why we're not speaking out against this. And those of us who are, we're like on the fringes, amongst ourselves. I mean, we should be screaming at the top of a mountain, because this is just, it's insane. It really is. That's my opinion.
I 100%. I agree with you. 1,000%.
Well, that's all I wanted to say on that subject. But I can't believe that you answered my call, and I just think you're great. Thank you so much for answering my call.
Well, thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
All right. Same to you now.
All right. Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate her. And you guys on the drill, the number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. It's always right there. There it is. 434-658-1220. And it's also in the description box at the very top always. But let me get to my next call. 503 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is Matt McIntyre. I love your show. I watch your YouTube show every day. And the thing about the transgender thing is that there are men committing crimes saying that they're women and going to prison, women's prison, and they're raping the women in prison.
Now, is that happening? Because I was afraid that could happen. Is that actually like legitimately?
It's actually been happening. Like I think Europe or the UK, where this guy said he was a woman, identified as woman. They put him in prison, and he actually got caught raping several of the women, the female inmates, including the guards. And you have this one story where this guy, he said he was a woman, identified as a woman, went to a man's prison, said because he was harassed, says that he went through they say he went through the surgery. He had some of the surgery. They says that because he was being hurt, threatened in a men's prison, that he must go to. And he's a big guy. This is a guy who killed his girlfriend. He butchered her. He cut her up, dismembered her body, and did the same thing to her dog. And after he was convicted, the judge suddenly came back and said, "This is manslaughter." And he was put in a men's prison. He said he was a woman. He identifies as a woman. Now they want to put him in. They're going to transfer him to a woman's prison. This is a guy who murdered. The judge said that he didn't premeditate this, even though he stabbed her to death with a knife, then dismembered her body and scattered it all over a farm, and did the same thing to her dog. The judge, he only got like 13 years, and then it was dropped down to 10 as manslaughter. He's going to be in a women's prison where he's like bigger than the women. And he could, turn around and, rape these women. And it has been happening more often that guys are saying that they're women, these sex offenders. And this is actually putting real women in danger in prison. But the system, because of the way that they say that men that say they identify as women and they're not even going to go through the surgery to become women, even if they do, it's the fact, it also, as some psychologists said, even if they get the surgery, they're still going to be a sex offender. It's the brain that doesn't change. Even if you go through and physically become a woman, you're still going to be a rapist. You're still going to find a way to rape a woman. So getting the operation doesn't change the fact that if you put a rapist in a prison with women, he's going to rape these women, and he may escape because even the female guards aren't big enough to stop these guys, and they could easily get out. Where men's prisons are more secured, women's prisons are less secure, and these guys are bigger, and they could easily overpower the female guards and just walk out and disappear into the public and be out there doing it again. That's the problem, and that's been the problem. Like with sports, women's sports are going to be dead. It's going to happen, because these men are going to take over and they're going to be able to do it, and nothing's going to stop them. And before long, soccer is going to be gone, basketball is going to be gone, tennis will be gone. There will be no women's sports, and then women will be going, what happened? Because no woman speaking up against it, especially athletes like Serena Williams, isn't saying shit about this. She's keeping her mouth shut.
Can't cuss.
Huh? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean. Sorry.
I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. People like Serena Williams need to speak up about this and say that you can't allow, because remember that guy that got the MMA fighter, he did go through the sex change operation, and he punched that woman. She said it fractured her, was it her jaw or her skull?
Her skull.
And she said she's never felt so much power from her, and said that she should not be allowed to fight other women because she's too strong. And this is what's going to happen. And it's ridiculous. There's guys that, like those two black boys in high school that said they were women, they were female, and they started running in track and field for the girls. And this one girl who used to play, she complained about it. No one cares. No one cares that girls athletes, their sports are being taken over by guys saying that they're women, even though they're not.
Because the main thing here is that the women are being victimized by this. Women should be able to play sports. And they should be able to play sports on a fair and even playing field, not with men in there. That defeats the whole purpose of having women's sports.
And the funny thing was, Serena Williams was asked this about like tennis. Why didn't she play the men? She goes, "Oh no, I could never compete against the men. They're too strong." And yet she won't speak about men saying they're women playing in, women's sports. She won't speak out against that. So it's kind of ridiculous that this is going on and everything, and nothing's being done about it. People are like you are speaking about it. Others are bringing it up, but for the women in sports are staying quiet. Yeah. They're talking about stuff like, equal pay. Hey, you have equality, except for now you're going to lose your sport. And then what are you going to do? You're going to have no one to complain to when it's all gone. And men are now, there are no women's sports. That's their fault. I mean, it's sad that women complain. You hear people like, the female women's U.S. soccer team complain about equal pay when they're being paid more than the men, but yet something like this is happening and they're all staying quiet. None of them are speaking up about it. And it's people like you and others talking about, men are talking about this, saying that this needs to be stopped, but, women, as far as athletes go, are keeping their mouths shut about it. I don't know why.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, but I thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Oh, yeah. Have a great day. Great night, I mean. Happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you, man. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too. Thanks. Bye. All
right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. And you guys know the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Let me get more people on the line here. Let's go. All right. 918 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is JB Scotchman, one of your viewers here.
All righty, man.
And a subscriber. Good, man. I called in to talk about 2020 election, but I do want to say a few things about a few of your other callers, especially the woman that called in who brought up the transgender athletics subject. And I was so glad to hear that. Women should be upset about this. They fought for decades and decades, for the right to vote, women's liberation. I mean, they fought for so long to get these equal rights. And now you got men pretending to be women invading all their accomplishments.
Right.
And like the other guy said just a while ago about women not speaking up about it, that's a big thing right there. Why isn't Ellen DeGeneres, Rosie O'Donnell, Michelle Obama, all of these big, powerful, women who have huge influence, they're just standing on the sideline letting it happen. I mean, this is a really big deal that needs a lot more attention because this is a transition, no pun intended, in human culture. I mean, this is bigger than just, hey, treat everybody equally, blah blah blah. No, this is affecting young people, children, parents. I mean, it's a bigger issue than I think people really think it is, and then people are just so scared to come out and talk about it, especially in Hollywood. They praise it and, it's the greatest thing ever. But it's really having such a big impact on just human behavior and what's going to happen with the next generation. I mean, it's a pretty big freaking issue. I don't think people realize.
Oh, you're right.
So,
you're definitely right.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's my thought on that. I don't know. But anyway, I wanted to call in to talk about the 2020 election. I mean, there's just so much news being spewed out from every direction, every source, every device. I mean, people nowadays, there's just so much to take in. It's crazy. We've never had this amount of information flowing so fast in the world. The whole entire world is literally connected from anywhere from Alaska to France within seconds. It's nuts. But anyway, that's off topic. That's a whole other subject. Anyway, about the election. Listening to all the different news outlets, one thing has become really clear. Okay, these Democrats, I love the fact that Bloomberg is in it now. That's just extra icing on the cake. Bring him in, stir things up a little bit. Let's see what happens. But one thing occurred to me just actually yesterday when I was, processing all this. No one on the left, not one single candidate has the one thing that Trump has, and that is the wow factor. Like, since what was it, August of 2015, when Trump came out down that escalator and came out and made his announcement. Since that single day, no one in America can stop talking about that.
That's right. That's been the main thing on both sides of the aisle. It's like when you're at the Democratic debates, they're focusing on Donald Trump. It's like he is the top guy they're all trying to dethrone. They don't look at themselves as leaders at all. They look at him as a leader that they're trying to defeat.
Right, exactly. Now, you look at any one of those Democrats, Joe Biden, Pocahontas, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, Pete, Buddha Judge. I won't say what I normally call him, but, But you think about any one of those, what do they have that's going to draw a crowd like the size that Trump had in Florida last night?
They have nothing. I mean, they
got nothing.
Yeah, they can't. If you put all of those guys that are on the Democratic side combined, it still wouldn't be enough to draw the kind of crowds that Trump gets.
Yeah. And that's the thing, all Trump has to do is, I don't know, he's never been to in my area to give, a big speech. I wish he would, but I'm in Oklahoma, so he's got no reason to come here because we all vote for him anyway, So, but, if say like Joe Biden or someone did come to my area, people would be like, so, it's like nothing, like who's going to go? Nobody.
Right.
And I'm not talking like, Midwest here, it's not just, us flyover area states, it's not us, white dudes, dude, we love Trump in this area, man. Dude, I voted for Obama in 2008. He was a great speaker. He was inspiring. I loved it. And I was all in for him. And in 2012, not so much. I didn't even vote in that election. I didn't like Romney either.
Right.
I didn't like either choice, so I just didn't even vote in that election. And I'm not either. I am independent. I will vote for whoever has America's interest. I don't care if they're left or right. It doesn't matter. And with Trump, this is a guy that America, and anyone that's alive right now, no one has seen a president like this. I mean, he has come out and said what has been dying to be said for so long. And if you don't like it, too bad.
That's right.
What? That's it, and we need someone like that. Okay. I'm, going back, thinking about some of Obama's, not his speeches were really great, I'll be honest with you, but they were mostly, on a teleprompter. You can write a good speech, and if you can, say it, portray it great, that's his thing. But Trump, he doesn't need a teleprompter. This guy, he speaks what's on everyone's mind, but they're too afraid to say. And there was a guy that called in a little bit ago, too, who was talking about the Civil War, like a new Civil War, that was going to happen in America. I don't think, honestly, let me get a drink of water here, sorry.
Well, matter of fact, I got kind of small amount of time, so I got to get to some more calls here.
Okay. All right, man. Well, hey, man. Hey, thanks for talking, man. Love your channel. Keep it up, man.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, man. Later.
All right. Shout out to the caller. I most certainly appreciate you guys. And the number to call is 434-658-1220. I got super chats to read right quick. Let me go ahead and get to those. Let me see. Let's go to, shout out to Joshua Perez. Oh, I already read that. Thank you to my man Norman Jacobs for the donation. I definitely appreciate you, boss. Thank you to Cyprian Cox for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. Hopefully I did not butcher your name there. Thank you to Stephen Watson for your donation. I appreciate it. Thank you to Norman Jacobs for your donation, who says, think Bloomberg ran to hurt Trump and skirt the money law. It could be. You never know. But thank you for that. You know what? I thought Bloomberg may run as a Republican, but it didn't happen. He's on the left. It's like, what are we doing? But thank you for your donation. Shout out to my man Sushi who says, "So ABL, just wanted to say happy Thanksgiving. Thanks to everyone in the chat for hanging out with us tonight with the heart emoji. Thank you for your donation, boss. Definitely appreciate you. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your holiday so far and are able to get a little something to eat tomorrow. But let me go ahead and get to the next call here. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Dee. I just wanted to say happy Thanksgiving. Love your show.
Well, thank you.
That's about it.
Thank you for the call, and likewise, enjoy your holiday.
Yeah, I just, there's so much that we have to be thankful for and blessed. Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, and I enjoy your show so much. Just, that's it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you.
God bless. Love you.
God
Bye.
bless you. All right, very, very good call. Shout out to everybody for calling in. I appreciate you guys. Let me get to my next call here. 561, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is Rebecca Gerard. How are you tonight?
I'm all right. Can't complain about yourself.
I'm pretty good. I just wanted to make a comment about Michael Bloomberg jumping in the race.
Yeah.
I have a theory that Bloomberg, when he got in, he did $30 million worth of ads, I think, within the first couple of days, right?
Yeah.
And I think that he just jumped in the race so that he can put as many negative ads out there as possible with all the money he's got and not violate the campaign finance laws.
That makes a lot of sense. It does make a lot of sense. I didn't think about it like that. So I guess you can't, at a certain point, you can't give a certain amount of money above. It's a limit to giving to. So now you could just say, you know what? Since I'm running, I could spend all the money in the world. Makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah, I think so. And Dan Bongino today said on his show that how every time they get rid of one hoax with Trump, they have another one right behind it. And he said, you watch, if they get past this impeachment thing, they're going to hit it with he was colluding with Turkey and turning against the Kurds.
Oh, yeah.
So he said, we're about 2 weeks ahead of everybody else. He said, that's going to be the next one you watch. All right. You have a good night, ABL, and you have a great Thanksgiving.
Well, thank you for your call, and same to you. Hope you enjoy your holiday and everything goes good at the dinner.
Okay, you have a good one. Now, I'll talk to you later.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to everybody for calling. Definitely appreciate you guys. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Do not be afraid to call. Let me get to the next call. All right, call you on the line, 617. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, this is your worst nightmare, man. This is Ivan.
What's going on, man?
What's going on? Hey, do you listen to the interview with, I think it was a radio interview between Trump, President Trump, and Bill O'Reilly?
No, I didn't hear that.
Well, that you should listen to it. Pretty much, it's a time bomb that's going to explode. And do you hear about Giuliani saying that that he have an insurance policy, right? You didn't hear about that?
No, what was it? What was the insurance policy?
Well, he didn't give any specific, but pretty much the insurance policy is Trump already threw them under the bus. Well, you should listen to the interview, and then you will know more about it, because if I listen to the interview, it's on YouTube. It was yesterday or the day before, and then you will get more that pretty much Trump pretty much threw Giuliani under the bus, and Giuliani's about to burn him. That's pretty much just what it is.
So you didn't hear anything about what the insurance policy actually is? You just
no, but
okay.
Makes it. Well, pretty much Trump. But I'm going to tell you what happened. Trump it was asked about for O'Reilly that who sent Rudy Giuliani to Ukraine, and Trump said that he never sent him to Ukraine. That he went on his own to Ukraine. When Trump in the call, the September the 24th, I think that was the call with the issue. He said that he told the Ukrainian president to connect with Giuliani, that he got some instruction from him to go about certain things of the investigation of Burisma, right? Now he's saying that he never told him to go over there, to go over Ukraine, that he went on his own.
Okay, but I also heard that Giuliani and the Ukrainians are already connected before that phone call happened. So
yeah, that's what they were saying.
If he was going to go over there, if he was going to go over there already, then what Trump said is right. He did not send him over there. He was going to go over there already. So it's just like, okay, he's going to go over there. Cool. Y'all get together and talk. It wasn't like, oh, I sent him over there to do that. He was already going to be over there, so he just gave him a blessing to be over there and do what he's got to do. But it's not like Trump sent him.
Well, I mean, Trump said in the call, it's recorded, that you're gonna connect with my lawyer. Giuliani is a very smart guy. He's gonna go over there with the details to investigating Burisma. He's on the call. I mean but
he did not say that he sent him. He's going to send him over there. Like I said, because before that call took place, there was already an arrangement for Giuliani to be over in Ukraine. So it wasn't like he said in that call, "Oh, I'm gonna send my man," and then after the phone call was over, he set the whole thing up. It was already done before that.
So okay, let me get this straight. I mean, you don't make any sense. So Giuliani magically went to the Ukraine to investigate Burisma in behalf of his client. So which was his client?
I don't know why he went over there.
Well, he said that Trump is his client. That's why he got the insurance policy. The insurance policy is that they got telephone conversation, they got videos. So when Trump is going to turn on their bus, he's going to show up. Look, this guy's already burned.
So do you know why? Do you know why Giuliani went to Ukraine?
Well, he said that he went on behalf of his client. His client is President Trump. That's what he said. That I went to there in instruction of my client. And also, Giuliani might get in trouble. Maybe not, because he's supposed to register as a international agent when you conducting business with foreign nations at the political level. He might get away with it. That's what the lawyers were saying. That they might. But the reason that he sent Giuliani there and he didn't send the State Department because he want to put some dirt on Biden. That's clear. I mean, you don't want to believe it. That's fine, but it is clear. I didn't want to talk about that, but now we got involved into this. That's what is going to happen. And he has some information on Trump that is going to burn him. So Trump made the mistake of sending that either has nothing to do with Giuliani going over there, they never send and they have all the clients. True, Giuliani might have all the deals, but in the call you say that you send him there to talk to my lawyer.
That's not what he
said. To Giuliani.
He did not say that he was going to send Giuliani. You're just kind of like piecing that together from what you think that he was meaning. But he didn't say it in the call.
So Giuliani just went on his own.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know why he went over there.
He went to investigate Burisma on his own.
The point is that I don't know why he went over there, but the truth is, in the phone call, he did not say that he was going to send Giuliani. That's just you filling in the dots.
He said to connect with my lawyer. He's a smart guy, Rudy Giuliani. He's a smart guy.
But okay. Let's move on to something else.
That means he's gonna. If he
that's your opinion.
With him,
that's your opinion.
No, it's not my opinion. That's what he said.
It is your opinion. You're saying that means that you're just drawing that out.
So if somebody said to you, "Hey man, connect with this guy," so that means he was already over there, and that doesn't mean that he didn't send him.
Nah.
If I tell you to connect with XYZ person, that means that I'm giving you instructions to connect with. Okay. So,
now listen,
so
sir. Now, if you already got. If it's going to be a trip you already know about, okay, Giuliani's going to go to Ukraine for whatever the reason may be. Trump knows about the trip. So he's like, okay, I'm on the phone with the president. Hey, Giuliani's going to be over there at a certain time. Y'all can get together and talk because he knows he's going to be over there. That don't mean that he sent him.
You said it, so go over there and talk, right?
No. You missed what I said. He's already going to be over there. So it was like, okay, he's going to be over there. I'm on the phone with you. Y'all can talk. Y'all can communicate or whatever. That does not mean that he sent him over there.
Okay, so he didn't send him, but he gave me instruction to meet with him.
It's like if I happen to be going to D.C. and then somebody is on the phone call with Trump saying, hey, ABL's going to be in D.C., get together with him, let him in the White House. And then I get into the White House. That don't mean that.
So
wait. That doesn't mean that I got sent by somebody to go to DC. Nah, I was already going to be there regardless. And then it's like, okay, come into the White House and talk.
Giving instruction to meet with him, right?
What?
Trump giving instruction. Trump said that he has nothing to do with him going over there. He has no instruction to go into a meeting with anyone over there. That's what he said. He said it twice in the interview. Watch the interview. And then
I mean, okay, like we've already established that. Like there was no instructions for him to go over there from Trump. Like I said, it was already going to be a trip that Giuliani took regardless. You don't know why he went over there. He was over there.
He's doing deals. He's doing deals for natural gas companies. That's why he went over there.
Okay, so is that at the behest of Trump, or is it his own thing? He had to go on over there regardless.
We don't know.
Exactly. You don't know. So, sir, you just said it right there, sir. You just, sir. You muted. You just said it right there. You don't know. Exactly. You don't know. My point exactly. You don't know. I don't know. You don't know. Let's just wait and see if anything comes out that will prove a point that we didn't know already. Simple.
They already subpoenaed Giuliani. Giuliani's already, he's going to talk.
Okay, so once we get more information that comes out, then we can figure out what's going to happen.
Okay, so this is my prediction. All the documents will be released, and Trump has no way to escape. It will be burned. It's going to be burned.
Okay, all right.
What's going to happen?
All right.
It's going to, and the Republicans, they're all going to lose their seats. I mean, they're going to be some people that will support Trump regardless. I mean, even they have videos, even they have phone calls, they still support Trump because those you can't change. Those are baptized by Trump in some sort of cult or something. But the reality is, he made sure he's not going to go to jail for him.
Now, here's a question I have. What crime did Trump commit here, according to what you think?
Well, if Trump sending over there to investigate Burisma, like those two guys, Igor and then the other, I can't remember his name, the one that been arrested, that they say that David Nunes met with the prosecutor that was fired. Let's say this is true. Maybe not, maybe it's true. Maybe because those guys now in trouble, they want to go to jail.
Small amount of time. So what crime did he commit?
Well, I mean, interfering to an election. Foreign government officials to interfere to put their in an opposition candidate in an election.
Okay, if that's the case, then the Democrats also did that, right?
No, they have not done that.
Oh, so what? They went to Ukraine and tried to get dirt. So on Trump,
not true. Do you listen to the interview? No, that's not true. Nothing is true. They didn't get dirt. That's not true.
So they didn't do that.
Let me gonna go back to you.
Okay, sir. Like we got, sir. Look, listen. We got like 15 seconds. So wrap it up.
Do you know who Fiorina is? You know who Fiorina is?
I don't got time for questions. Wrap it up.
Okay, Fiorina is the head of director of the Central Intelligence. What do you call it? Clandestine intelligence, whatever, counterintelligence.
Okay, quickly.
This is what she said in the hearing. She said that Rush has been saying that there's no evidence.
Okay. So So it's just hearsay. You believe some hearsay and not other hearsay. Okay, I got you.
So
thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
So you trust people? You
don't. Shout out to Ivan. Yeah. So I thought that the Democrats went to Ukraine, or at least contacted Ukrainians to try and get dirt on a president. I thought that the FISA warrant was granted erroneously because of the Steele dossier. Christopher Steele was a British intelligence officer who worked with the Russians to get quote unquote dirt, which was fake, on Donald Trump that he sold to the Democrats. I thought that happened. Am I wrong? Y'all let me know if I'm wrong about the whole Ukraine and Democrats situation, or if I'm wrong about the Christopher Steele dossier and the British intelligence and him dealing with the Russians and then him dealing back with the DNC or the Hillary Clinton campaign specifically. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. I just want to know just to make sure I'm on the same page with y'all. But let me get to the next call. 724, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yeah, 724. Who am I speaking to?
Jay Zollers. How you doing?
Everything's great, man. About yourself?
Pretty good. Is this Mr. Logan?
Yes, it is.
How you doing, sir? First time shoot chair, first time caller, long time listener, man. Way to go. Just calling to tell you happy Thanksgiving, sir.
Oh, same to you, man. Likewise. I appreciate that.
Yeah, anyways, thing I want to tell you about is like, hey, I got like in my line of work, I question a lot of people deal with a lot of, well, like alpha and high strung personalities. How do you keep your cool? Like even I have to keep my cool all the time, but man, like I could take lessons from you, but just sometimes I always, sit there and listen to stuff you're dealing with while I'm working. I'm just like, man, how the hell does he do that? Sorry for cursing.
Oh, no, it's all good, man. I'm just a cool, like, I don't really let stuff bother me. I don't think too deeply into things. And, I've had a life with some crazy experiences that I can't even really get into on the air. So I look.
Hillbilly from the Appalachians, man, living in the DMV now. I feel you.
Yeah, you already know what it is. So it's like,
Yeah.
These things are nothing compared to some of the things that I've seen. So, it's nothing to me. It's just I don't take things that seriously. I like to kind of laugh and joke because
mentally celibate, aka you don't give an F.
Yeah, I don't really care nothing about that. Like it takes a lot to really get me rattled and frazzled. So for the most part, I kind of laugh at a lot of the stuff that happens, and I just have confidence in myself and know that I'm going in the right direction and that I'm making the right decisions in my life, and that's all that really matters. And other people and what they do and some of the foolishness they engage in does not affect me because I know I'm doing right. I laugh at them for doing the wrong thing, and I appreciate myself and others for doing the right thing.
Man, that's a great thing I like enjoying hearing that on Thanksgiving. Thank you very much for hearing that. Also, just want to give you this little caveat. Wife is English, on in process to become American, but the more she's around, the more she looks around, the more she feels American because we had her kid over here and everything, and it's just. And then the other day she brought up, she's like, you know what? Something I don't get is it's the same problem we have in England and Britain. He's like, everyone complains, but they really don't know what it's like to have something to complain about. Just seems like anymore everyone's just complaining to complain.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I try to avoid the complaining because, there's some serious things going on in this world, some things you could really complain about. But the things we got, it's like first world problems, right? My iPhone broke and I can't get good photos on Instagram. It's like, man, please, there's people out here that are starving to death right now. So count your blessings.
I can't find clean water. I can't find food. How am I going to fill my belt? Stuff like that.
Like I'm starving to death. Right.
Someone's being mean to me.
Right. I'm starving to death right now. I can't eat any food. Meanwhile, this person is triggering me on social media. It's like, come on, it's nowhere near the same thing.
So, last question is, it's more of a philosophical question, but just because kid from the 80s and 90s, but I want you to think about this, right? Do you think someone like Michael Jordan or Mr. Rogers could actually survive nowadays with dealing with all this BS? Just think about how both of them were, they try to be the role models. For the most part, they were. But do you think, like, with just the outrage mob and all the BS nowadays, people like that could survive and, inspire other people?
That's a good question, man. It'd be hard because the biggest issue nowadays is just how everybody's life is just out there on social media. You might not even be a person that's into social media, but your life, every move you make, people got cameras out recording you. Any little thing you say gets taken out of context and put all over the media. People are trying to find a way to destroy you. So it's hard for anybody in the public eye to maintain a squeaky clean image. Just one little mistake, one little word, and you're canceled forever. You're done. Your career's over. You're out on the street with nowhere to go. It's pretty sad. Just like Papa John,
Oh God!
It's like how does a man fall? It took him off the pizza boxes of his own company. I'm like, good grief! Like it's hard. So maybe they could just dodge through the minefield and be able to be okay, but it'd be very hard for them.
And one thing for you to watch, like this Thanksgiving, or even on Christmas, anytime whenever you lose faith in humanity, I want you to look up Mr. Rogers. You know who Mr. Rogers is, right?
Yeah.
Well, look up his final goodbye whenever he gave his final goodbye episode. Because he said a lot of things that are still inspiring. Like, a lot of people say, he made people wait, but he was a good guy in the end. I'll alter it. But I'm going to let you get back to it. But, man, happy Thanksgiving. Thankful for my wife, my family, this great country, and thankful for you keeping up the good fight. And, man, keep on keeping on.
And thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. And likewise, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, brother. Later on.
That was a great call. A very good call. A lot of good questions. A lot of great questions. Absolutely. Papa John's, he had a little incident where I think he might have. This was crazy because he didn't even really do anything. It was just the cancel culture just unfairly targeted him, and then it kind of created this whole big spiral in his company. He said the N-word on a phone call with some people, like it might have been investors or something. I'm not quite sure it was on the other line, but he didn't say it as far as in an insulting way or even in a casual way. He was just trying to say, you should not say this. Don't say this word. And he said the word you're not supposed to say while saying don't say it. Just trying to say, yo, avoid this. And people said, you said the N-word. But I was trying to say don't say it. It don't matter. You said it. Then that created this whole big outrage, and it went to the point where he kind of like resigned or something. It was a mess. Then I see him in an interview talking about he hadn't had 40 pieces in the past 30 days. I'm like, what's going on here? They took him off with the pizza boxes. They put Shaq in the commercials rather than Papa John. I'm like, man, this is terrible. This man, the company is called Papa John's. His name is John. They took him off the boxes. I was like, good grief. And that's not cheap to do, to get all new boxes and stuff. That's not cheap. So let me get to my next call. Let's go. Hold on. 734, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, ABL. This is Antonio from Detroit, man.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Yeah, man. I called you a couple days ago. I want to know this. I think they're going to stop the impeachment inquiry because you remember Nancy Pelosi's son is getting indicted for a security thing over there. She got paid, $60,000 over there? You hear me?
Over where?
Over what they're trying to frame Trump for.
What's talking about, Ukraine?
Ukraine, yeah. And her son, I looked it up in the thing, her son is getting indicted, and she got paid, $60,000 for the donation over there, right?
Oh, okay.
That's why I think the Democrats is going to stop the impeachment, because if they don't, the conservatives, the Senate, is going to pick it up and get all the witness, and it's going to put her in some kind of trouble. I looked it up, man. I think it.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is there's a whole lot of stuff going on the left. I feel like every time they come out and they try to say something about Trump and Ukraine, it's more and more that comes out about them in Ukraine. They're really the ones that got the problem with Ukraine and corruption and whatnot. It's not Trump. But see, they're going to try to hide that. Yeah, they're going to try to hide that because they have control of the media, so they can pretty much say whatever they want and not have it really be a big problem because they can hide it. So yeah, I mean, you're right, but I think they're still going to try to keep this whole thing going, even though it's phony. It's not going to work in the end because you got to get Republicans on board to try and actually get them out of office. So it won't really go nowhere. But they're going to keep trying to go and do this whole dog and pony show to make Trump look bad.
Yeah, to the 2020 election, which is only he increasing. And now I looked up a little poll too, saying 34% black people looking favorable Trump. That means if that's true, the it's over. It's over.
Yeah.
It's over. Mexicans 36%. It's over. Period.
Oh yeah, it'll be a wrap. That's why the left they keep trying to bring in the illegal immigrants, because what they want to do is give them amnesty so they can vote. That's what they want.
Yeah. Like I told a lot of my friends, my leftist friends or my liberal friends, the Democrat Party is done with you. They got their new voter base now, the illegal immigrants. That's why I told everybody, they don't care about you. Free Medicare for all, they say it's for you or they say it's for illegal immigrants. Look it up. And then they looked it up. They was shocked because they had never realized what they were saying. And I said, stop watching CNN, MSNBC, or ABC, whatever. Stop watching that, dog. It's brainwashing. You're enslaving yourself. Don't do that no more. And I got my friends looking up information. They say, you know what? I don't like Trump, but I'm voting for this because I want this to happen.
Right, exactly.
And they black.
Yep.
You know, and I'm like, that's why I say, people, listen. I tell everybody, follow the money. Follow the money. Follow it. Stop watching mainstream media, getting brainwashed. Follow the money. Look up your own information. That's what I told him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just keeping it 100 with you, dog. So thank you for accepting my calls, and I guess I'll talk to you on next open podcast.
Oh, definitely, man. Appreciate you for the call, man. As always.
All right, bro. Peace out.
All right, now, peace. All right, shout out to my man from Detroit for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Yeah, they're going to keep trying to ride this whole impeachment thing until the wheels fall off. And they're mad about them numbers. They're really mad about them numbers. And then Navarro came out and was trying to insult people, trying to insult Diamond and Silk and Sheriff David Clark and Kanye West and anybody that's black that voted for Trump or that supports Trump nowadays. Then there's all this commotion about, oh, well, if you voted for Bernie or whoever in 2016 or Hillary, the president, and how can you vote for Trump now? How can you support Trump now? It's people that have come to me in 2019 that said that they've switched from left to the right because of everything that's going on. People change. It can happen very quickly. And that's why the Democrats are kind of afraid because they know things are changing very quickly and they can't really do a lot to stop it. But let me get to my next call. 972, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, it's Michael.
All righty.
Thanks, Anthony. I'm sorry, can you hear me?
I hear you well. What's going on?
All right, sir. I'd like to talk about illegal immigration and legal immigration.
Yeah.
As far as this government's policy currently and before. Here's something that I have actually personally experienced. I went down with a church group to Guatemala. And in Guatemala, this is a fun part. I saw there were almost no men at all. They're in Guatemala City, the major city, of course. But again, this was it was a long time ago, actually. At this point, I suppose it was like 20 years ago. But the gasoline at that point in Guatemala City was literally $8 a gallon by their own. It was like $4 a liter, essentially. It was insane. Yeah, no, that was, again, we're not talking about now. We're talking about, almost 20 years ago. And everywhere I went, there were no men. And I kept saying, where are all the men? I asked the women, it's like, where are all the men, the children? And they were like, well, they all went up to America. So that drove home to me a point that this globalist ideology, this idea that everyone's going to benefit, right? The whole idea of George Bush and Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, what they're doing is not just hurting American workers, they're actually hurting the countries they come from because of this. In Guatemala, at that point, yes, you could eat for a day for $1, absolutely. But you certainly couldn't buy a car. You were lucky if you had a home that was like, cinder block with no windows and a dirt floor. That meant you were doing quite well. That is globalism. And that is exactly, let's put it to the test. Let's go to Africa, shall we? So in Africa, with tribal warfare all over the place, which Central America does not have tribal warfare, they have cartel warfare. And it's ripped its way up through into Mexico now. And anyway, that's a different subject. But tribal warfare versus, cultural, it's not cultural. It's not even, what do you call it, corporate warfare. What's happening in South America is corporate warfare. Okay? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I'm seeing what you're saying.
Yeah. There's money behind it. It's a corporation. A cartel is a corporation. That's corporate warfare. What we see in Africa and the Middle East is tribal warfare, which is much more violent, without a doubt. I'm sorry, but it is. It always has been throughout history. That's why Afghanistan has never been conquered, because every tribe hates every other tribe. You go in there and they hate everybody, and they especially hate you, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, the whole point is that you have this corporate warfare that's going on in South America. The problem is that there's a lot of money behind that, a lot of money. And we're not talking about millions. We're talking about billions to trillions, right? And then you say that our people in government, correct, today, who are pretty much all scumbags, 99.9% of them are scumbags, aren't open to taking bribes. You know what I mean? That everything's like it's pure as driven snow. Of course not. That's why the war on drugs failed. Now we have Trump, who says, I want to designate cartels as a terrorist organization. You recall that, correct? That just happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you think everybody's against it? And especially AMLO, what's his name? The current president of frickin' Mexico is like, whoa, to the Mexican people. Whoa, to the Mexican people that are being murdered by these cartels. Don't worry, he's not going to do it. Doesn't that bother you? Because I can assure you, anyone who's listening, and I know, well, I'm hoping, well, it doesn't matter because I know, well.
I think maybe the main thing here is that it's a lot of money involved.
Well, there is. But what I'm saying is, historically, this isn't the first time this has happened. It started in Colombia back in the I guess really the 60s, but it was back in the 1960s where they started producing cocaine, and then you had these organizations they started getting money because, hey, I can go ahead and put out, it's not just dope. You know, it's not marijuana. I mean, marijuana is, it's fine. But now we go from an area in Colombia where all of a sudden you produce all this a huge amount of money. At the end of the day, you can arm your soldiers. You can buy body armor. You can buy tanks. You can buy vehicles. You can do this. You can do that. And then it kept moving. And it went from Colombia, it went into, and these people are not stupid. They recognize political ideology. They recognize how to manipulate political ideology. And now all of a sudden you got a peasant sitting at, exactly, some peasant sitting somewhere who's just like a farmer and he's, feeding his family. They're like, hey, I'll give you $1 million, right? Or I'll give, no, not that, but I'll give you a lot of money. All of a sudden, if you start growing coca, it's like, okay, great. And then you start saying, well, hey, how can I feed my family if I only grow coca and all my family around me, everyone only grows coca? They say, hey, don't worry about it. It's socialism. We'll give you whatever you need. See what I mean?
Right, I see.
Yeah. This is the drug aspect of socialism that is brought on by communism. And, well, I don't know. I don't know the entire anything about it. But what bothers me is
so basically, I gotta just
incredibly effective.
I don't mean to cut you right here, sir. I don't mean to cut you right here, but I just want to jump in right quick. I gotta get to some more calls. So when you have communism, socialism, you have certain things that are given to you, but it's not enough. it's not anything else. So it's like, okay, what else can I do to really generate some revenue here? I can grow some coca. I can grow some marijuana. Now I can get guns. Now I can do other things aside from just being given some basic sustenance by the government. Maybe that's it.
To a degree, yes. Because there's a difference between living in socialism, right, versus the government. Because, quite frankly, nobody cares about the government. I don't care who you are on Earth. Nobody gives a shit about the government. They really have little impact on your life. But when the government, when people care about the government is when a bunch of guys with a truck and a bunch of automatic weapons show up to your house and tell you you're going to start growing coca versus, apples, then you start caring a little bit. Okay? So, that's my deal. I mean, it's just simply what happens is you have people who are just farmers. They're just trying to live.
I got you.
Right? And then you've got the government that gets taken over and legitimized. More importantly, my friend, that's what worries me, is that there are governments in California, city governments in California, and that are legitimized by cartels.
That's right.
They're
right.
cartel control.
I got to leave you right there. I got other calls on the line. But thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Good man. Have a great night.
All right, same to you. All right, shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Do not be afraid to call. Go ahead and call on in. 719, you're on line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes.
Hi. I just would like to first say have a happy Thanksgiving, and I hope you have a wonderful family get-together. And I'd like to say something to our First Lady, please. Melania, you are beautiful, talented, you are kind, generous, you are a wonderful mother, you have a giant heart, you have your money in your own right, which most people don't even know. You don't even need Trump's money. You speak 5 languages, and the reason that these nasty, nasty people say these hateful things to you and about you is because they're jealous. These Michelle Obama, you have more class in your little pinky finger than she's got in her whole body. She is a race baiter, a family ripper aparter. She hates this country. She hates everything it stands for. She went into the White House a pauper, her and her husband, and came out billionaires because they basically just ripped off the American people. And all these side deals that Obama was doing out there, he was making a mint. Hillary just didn't get paid for Uranium One. He got his fair share of that, Obama did. And shame on all of them. And I know I speak for over half of America when we say those kinds of people will go into the dustbin of history, but people like you will always be remembered. So please just stay strong and don't let them get to you. And one more thing, I know you're busy tonight. Everybody, get away from Fox News. They've gone liberal. When you hire people like Donna Brazile, who is a known cheater, liar, hater, like Juan Williams that says it's okay to have free speech, to lock a child in a cage with a pedophile in the middle of the street. Now they give Ed Henry, a known Trump hater, his own show. Now that they've made millions from his supporters, One American News, they're great. They're on cable now. Great. What Fox used to be, you will love them. Great show, and just stay strong, America. We'll take them down one way or another.
All righty. Well, great call. A very good call. I thank you for that. I definitely appreciate you. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
You too. Have a wonderful holiday, sir.
All right, now.
Bye-bye.
Very good call, because Fox News has been slipping. I ain't gonna lie. I still watch it, because they're the best thing that I can get on TV just for casual watching to see what's going on. And I try to watch some of the other news channels as well, but it's hard for me to watch them. Let me get to my next call. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Jacob.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Hey, man. Good to talk to you, Anthony. I was calling in to say, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you have a great holiday. And I got to ask you one question.
All right, go for it.
Are you kind of getting sick and tired of the callers that come in with no guns blazing, nothing really to say, and you have to talk to them?
Oh, nah, man. I like everybody that calls in because everybody has their own viewpoint, own opinion. So it's all good, man. If anybody calls me, I'm grateful and thankful for it.
Sure, but at some point does it get to be kind of like you're just repeating yourself multiple times?
I mean, like I said, I like this. I like doing this. This is what I do, so it's all good. But some people, I guess, I can understand where you're coming from because some people don't like to do what I do, and that's okay. But I enjoy what I do.
And honestly, I've been listening to you for a long time, and you seem to be like a very logical, free thinker, which is becoming a more rarity these days. And it's nice to hear. And I've always wondered how you guys do it.
What do you mean?
How you guys go on live air, take the calls, and can not just want to just lash out irrationally at these people, at some of these people, honestly.
Well, I think it goes back what I was saying earlier. I think somebody asked me a similar question. They were like, how do you keep it cool? They say I'm just a real cool person. I don't take a lot of things seriously. Like I like to have fun. I like to joke and just be like, that's just me. So anytime somebody calls in and it's kind of a weird call or something, I try to just make a good time out of it. Like I said, I enjoy it. To me, this is fun. Some people, to me, watching the news and reading the news is fun. I'm kind of a weird person. Like when I was a kid, I would watch the news for fun in the morning before I went to school. Like I'm talking like middle school. I'm just the kind of person, but everybody doesn't have that. Some people just kind of get frustrated. They ready to throw the computer through the wall, but that's just not me. That's not my personality.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see how a lot of people would get really angry and really frustrated. I'm the same way. I see it, to me, it's a joke. I can look at it at a different perspective and just kind of be like, none of this matters. Because in the end result, you're going to do what they want you to do, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, man. So it's all good, man. I just enjoy what I do. Like that's why I try to tell anybody that asks me, how can I be a YouTuber? How can I do what you do? It's like, man, you gotta find something that you enjoy. If you can enjoy doing this, if you enjoy talking to people and stuff like that, like I do. Like I'll talk to anybody. I don't care who you are. Anybody come up to me, I'll talk to you. I enjoy that. Some people don't like it. They don't like small talk. It might not be for you.
Sure, I completely understand. Like I get like how it's kind of the same idea of being a teacher or being like a public servant in general.
Yes.
Like you do something that you really truly enjoy doing, but at the same time, a lot of us look at that and kind of question and just be like, how could you possibly do that? How can you tolerate?
Yeah.
I mean, you're a very logical person, in my opinion. So sometimes I can see how that could be a hard thing to do and a hard thing to deal with on a daily basis, especially if this being what you do.
Yeah, it's all good, man. To me, I don't even work, man. To me, it's just like I can just get up every day and just talk for a living. It's just to me, it's sweet, man. It's beautiful. Versus like what I was doing before, which is kind of like, I'm doing design and print. That was fun too, but it kind of became more arduous as the years progressed. What I do right now, this is just like breathing to me. So personality.
I love that.
It's what it is.
I love that. And there needs to be more people like you on just YouTube in general, just kind of putting your thoughts and your opinions out there without really like a big, biased, idea of what's going on in the world. And
that's right. I'm with you, man.
It's nice. I love seeing it. I love hearing it, man. I'll be honest with you. Like you're one of my favorites because you don't really put it out there like this is extravaganza, like this big moment. You just kind of talk, and it's nice to hear now.
That's right, man.
Especially in this day and age of chaos, that's constant.
Exactly.
And I just want to say, I love what you do. I hope to God you keep doing it. And with the new YouTube terms, that you don't get shut down or anything like that, and that people can actually enjoy you and just keep listening to what you do.
Oh, it's all good, man. Well, thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
No, of course. I appreciate you.
All right, now. Take care.
All right. Have a good night.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. Yeah, I've seen that whole thing about the new YouTube terms, but I ain't worried about that. Basically, what it says is, in a nutshell, from when I've been able to gather, and if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below, y'all. 'Cause I know y'all know. The new terms say that if you have content that is for children, you're going to have less options available on your channel, and you might not actually be able to be monetized. But I don't have content for children. Some people are trying to dig into it, thinking that YouTube is going to be very broad. YouTube would not be very broad because it's a legal requirement that they don't want to even do. They want to have advertisements on kids' channel, on kids' videos, because they make a lot of money doing that. They want it to not affect them, so they're going to not be broad. They're going to specifically target Baby Shark type stuff. You understand what I'm saying? So my channel wouldn't even be in that. But let me get to the next call. Let's go to 631. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, I'm calling into the program.
You're live right now. This is ABL talking to you. What's happening?
Oh, thank God. It's nice to talk to you. This is Brian calling from New York. How are you?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
I wanted to ask you your thoughts about what Nancy Pelosi's strategy is. I've heard a theory that she might be trying to push for impeachment to protect her job, even though she knows it will cause the Democrats to lose the House. And the reason why is that if she plays nice with Trump right now, that the Marxists, the AOCs of the party, will primary her, and it'll knock her and a lot of her colleagues out of the House. And even though the Democrats will still probably lose the House, it'll be filled with a bunch of Marxist nut jobs, including and knock her out of her job. Whereas if she's unreasonable and she pushes for impeachment, she prevents primary challenges, and she at least gets to keep her job as minority leader, and some of her friends do too. I was curious what you think about that theory.
Man, that's a good theory. It does make sense that she's trying to keep her job and then the jobs of others, because she'll still be in there trying to control things to a certain degree. But I think the bigger thing here is Trump. It could be both things. It could be her job and the jobs of others in the Democratic Party, but also Trump. They don't have anybody that can really run against Trump in the general election in 2020. I mean, if Pocahontas and Joe Biden are your best bets, it's not looking too good for you. Buttigieg, not really going to be able to get her done. It's just they don't have anybody. So the best thing they can do is to try and make Trump look bad through the impeachment process. They know they're not actually going to be able to get it done. That's not really going to happen. How are you going to get 20 Republicans that are going to vote to convict if you couldn't get one that voted for the inquiry? So it's not going to actually be successful in the end. It will be no removal from office, but they still got to do it to make him look bad and to draw it out during the election. So this whole impeachment thing is hanging over him where he's trying to be out there campaigning. So it could be a combination of both things.
So do you think that her entire strategy is simply distraction from the bad candidates that are running on the Democrat side, and she doesn't have an ulterior motive? Or do you think that there's mixed motives here?
It could be mixed. I think the main thing is to try and make Trump look bad, because they can't run a campaign fair and square. They're trying to be against voter ID, not because it's racist or whatever, but they want to try and do some voter fraud if they have to. So they want to keep the door open for voter fraud, and they want to make Trump look bad to dirty his name up through the impeachment process. Then Bloomberg comes in to skirt the campaign finance law, and he spends millions of dollars on anti-Trump ads. So it's an all-out assault on Trump from many different directions in very creative ways. But it could also be the whole thing about her trying to keep her job. That does make sense too.
So about Bloomberg, you think that because I'm looking at the polls on, for example, Real Clear Politics, and Bloomberg is around, I don't know, 2.5, below 3%, at least as the averages go. He's not going to run in New Hampshire or Iowa or South Carolina or Nevada, so he's going to go straight for the Super Tuesday, which is not really a strategy because it's Super Tuesday is based on momentum from the previous primaries and caucuses. So again, like you mentioned, it seems like the theory out there, I've heard Greg Gutfeld say it, and I know it's going around the internet, that it seems like he's doing it to get around campaign finance laws, especially because the Democrat National Committee is not raising much money, right? So if they're not raising money, he could just run ad buys in a whole bunch of markets that might otherwise be prohibited. He doesn't have to give his money to a PAC. It's his own money. He does whatever he wants with it. And he also has a good excuse to say Bloomberg media is not going to criticize any Democrats. It's only going to criticize Trump. So now he's basically come up with a pretext for doing what he wants to do anyway. So I just, every time I think about the Democrat strategy, whether it's congressmen or whether it's candidates, it seems like they have an ulterior motive. And part of it, with Bloomberg, may just be jealousy of Trump, because he used to be, one of the rich guys that became a big shot as mayor, and Trump blew that out of the water just by, becoming the most powerful man in the world.
Yeah, it could be a little bit of jealousy there for sure. I mean, that could be part of it, but I think the bigger thing here is just the left trying to work together to try and get Trump out. He could have been approached by somebody to say, "Hey, man, you got a little bit of money. You could become the president, or not become the president, but you could run. You could say you could try to run, and it'll look legitimate. Spend a bunch of money on anti-Trump ads. How about that? If you want to help the cause, that could have been an approach, or it could have been his own idea. Who knows? But if he were approached with the idea, then it'd make sense for him to agree with it if he is envious of Trump, which I believe that he does have some envy there.
I looked up yesterday, because I heard an interview that Bloomberg gave maybe about a year ago, where he said that Ronald Reagan was carried out of office halfway gaga or something like that. And it was some pejoratives about Reagan. Now, I've seen some interviews that Reagan gave in the months right before he left office, and I had always heard that he was a little bit senile on the way out, but you could not tell it from the interviews. He was really good. Now, as far as Bloomberg goes, if Bloomberg did become president, which I don't think would happen, he would be older on his first day than Reagan was on his last day. You'd have a president that's going to be like 79 years old, and if he ran 2 terms, 79 to 87 years old, I couldn't imagine an 87-year-old president. It would probably be some sort of way to get some vice president into office after him. So, like, for example, if he had Julian Castro as a running mate or something, and try to get somebody else in after him. That's what I would think.
Yeah, way too old. I think Bernie's the same way. Biden's the same way. It's too old. It's way too old to be coming into office. I mean, Trump is old enough, but Trump is like 5 years younger than Biden, Bernie, and Bloomberg. So just too old. Got to just go ahead and they're not really serious, in my opinion.
There was one other thing I wanted to ask you. And I heard your last program. I saw those 2 polls about there being 34 to 34.5% of likely black voters voting for Trump. I wanted to ask you, how serious do you think those polls really are? And the other thing, there's a term that I always hear all the time. I hear the term the black community. And I've always found there's no Jewish community per se. There is no gay community per se. There are communities, plural. There are people all over the place that are individuals. But it's you see in the polls about how in what large numbers black people tend to vote Democrat and have since probably since the early 1900s, since around FDR's time.
1960.
Well, why do you think it is that the term the black community is so prevalent when in fact there are so many black communities, plural? Is it that they're all similar, or is it that the media is just pretending that they're all similar?
They're all similar. That's the truth. They're all similar. I mean, and there's some differences, but they're all similar. And the difference is largely regional. Like you go to California, it's a little bit different over there. You go to New York, it's a little bit different over there. It's different, but it's similar. Similar trends you can see because a lot of people that live in different places in the United States come from the same place. California people, a lot of them have roots that go back to the South. Everybody pretty much comes from the same place in America, which is the South, and they just went to other places. So a lot of that we have a common culture that originates from the South. That's pretty much what it is. So Black Southern culture is the predominant culture among Black people, and there's just certain things that happens among Blacks that does not happen among others. As far as the numbers you can look at. The single parent household rate, 75%, highest in the nation. The homicide rate, the poverty rate, a lot of different things are just kind of unique to the quote unquote Black community. And the reason why people say that is because it's an easy way to say like the Black collective or the general Black collective. Not everybody's a part of it. Not everybody even understands it. You have people that came here recently that are not American, that are immigrants, that are not even citizens yet. Some people that are just not part of that. People like Colin Kaepernick who grew up with a white family. That's a whole different story. Some people are not part of it, but generally that's kind of how it is.
So how big is, or as far as percentages go, how big is the collective? Is it 80%? Is it 75%? And the reason I ask this is because the up until I still think it was around the time of the Great Depression that Blacks started to vote Democrat, and it finally solidified sometime in the 60s with the Civil Rights Movement. I think it began before that. But how far can Trump go in persuading people? Because if Black unemployment figures are the best they've ever been, and if opportunities for them to get jobs are the best they've ever been, but still and all, at the end of the day, some of them are going to say, well, he's a racist, and I'm going to, vote for the Democrats no matter what you say. How far can it be pushed? Is this 34 or 34.5% number? Is that realistic, or is this something that's designed to make conservatives more confident than they actually are?
Well, I think the poll numbers were saying like 16% in 2016. As far as, Black likely voters that support Trump. And then when she went to the polls, it was like 8%. So if you take that same, 16 to 8, let's just say you just, now you double up. You say, let's say 32, which is lower than what it is. Let's just say 32. You can go to 16. So if you go to 16%, I mean, that's still big because the Democratic Party depends on like 95% of the Black vote going towards them. So if they get only 85%, 80%, that'd be a big dip. And it's not going to be a thing that changes overnight. People, they think, oh, well, you got all these things going on. Why can't you just change the voting pattern of the past 60 years overnight? That's not how it goes. You're going to have gradual increases. Trump, the first time, got more of the Black vote than Mitt Romney and John McCain before him. So That was in 2016 when you had a 16% poll. Now you got a 34% poll. We're going up. And I think the trend will continue to go up as long as we keep the same energy going in the next president and so on and so forth, to the point where we get back to where we had it prior to civil rights, where it was more voter parity going on. Even if we get it to like Hispanic level, that'd be pretty good in my humble opinion, like the 65 to 35.
I heard that before he ran for president, that in hip-hop songs, Donald Trump was one of the most referred to wealthy people, and that it was like 98% positive references to him.
Yeah.
And then once he started running, he became, the target of the hip-hop community in terms of, them saying bad things about him. It's just interesting how things flip so quickly, because it was obvious if he had been a racist or he had been not friendly or hostile to Black people for a long time, it would have shown up sometime before he started to
Oh,
run.
yeah,
It
but
was
see
only when he started to
but
run
that was a thing that just everybody, you know. Remember, I think Trump had this dinner. It might have some kind of dinner where you kind of like roast people, and he was like, "Everybody in this room, you know, you guys are my friends," and then you turned on me, and this was people like Hillary Clinton were there. This was like one of those, you know, big time, big important people dinner. It wasn't like some kind of music industry. This is like leaders of nations, a dinner. And he's talking about how people that used to be on the side turned on him. If you have a particular side that you pledge allegiance to, which in this case you had the black community pretty much going for the Democratic Party, and the others that happen to be on the Democratic side, like a Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, etc. He used to be Trump's golfing buddy, this, that, and the third. But then when he becomes the Republican nominee and then the president, he becomes his enemy. That's just kind of how that works, man. But I'm kind of getting long going timer, so I get to my next call, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you. All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. Yeah, it's going to be a long process to get people to stop voting one particular way that we have been for the past 60 years to go a different direction, but it's happening. If the polls said 16% in 2016 and it was 8% in the polls when people actually voted, then 34% now could be 16, could be 20, could be more or less. I think it'll definitely be more. There are much more black people out supporting Trump. I'm out here. I know people, and I know people that have converted over this particular point in time. It'll definitely be more, especially since the left don't have anybody. They don't have anybody. But let me get to my next call. 814, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
My name is Greg. I'm calling from Northwest Pennsylvania.
All righty, Greg. What's happening?
Hey, how you doing, Anthony? I really appreciate your show and taking my call. And I'm basically here just to thank all the people in the chat and YouTube for not taking you off yet. I really sincerely got to tell you guys this. I just turned 55 years old yesterday. I know I sound like I'm much younger, and
Happy
I'm
birthday,
definitely
man.
much. Thank you, my man. Thank you. And I've got a pretty active, social media thing and everything. And I'm a person who's been very, how can I put it? Let's just put it, I've lived a very rock star life. I've dabbled in the arts a lot. And as a young man, I had very long hair and peace signs and stuff. So I was a left winger for most of my life. And I was talking to some people the other day, and they noticed on my page, like, well, you're now one of those Trump guys. Became one of those Trump guys, Anthony. One of those evil Trump guys. And I had to explain to them something. It was a beautiful moment, though, because, I think there's a lot of people in the chat that maybe don't understand exactly what's happening either in the conservative movement. But it's looking pretty diverse all of a sudden. And it's being very welcoming. And it's a very good vibe. And I think that the Trump era really ushered in this freshness that I always wondered as a liberal and as a left-winger, why was that missing from the right for so long? Now, my eyes have been opened. I also realized I took the chance to explore the other side. I've always tried to be open-minded. And I've got to tell you, if there's anybody in the chat right now, which I've noticed there are some people, thank you, by the way, everybody. I will tell you right now, if there's anybody in the chat that might be on the left still or not understanding somebody like me, I find that I didn't really change that much.
Yeah.
And it felt like the pendulum sort of took me along, as the left went way far left. And suddenly, I got to tell you, Anthony, I found some beautiful people on the right. And I suddenly really felt like I was being deprogrammed from a cult. I literally felt that the right never really wanted to embrace me. I mean, here's this guy. I'm an entertainment promoter. I was in a rock band. I was the pro-marijuana guy, libertarian, of course, and unapologetically so. And guess what? I suddenly realized on the right, lo and behold, there were people who believed the same things I did. But on the left, we were told literally like a cult that that's not so. That if you're gay, you're going to be killed by the right-wingers. If you're black, if you're a Latino, any kind of minority, well, the right hates you. I mean, that was a mantra for decades for me. And now I see these kids and I try to almost deprogram them, if you will, but with a kind heart. And I think that's what I'm calling is to thank, first of all, you for what you're doing. and several other people on YouTube that I think are just genuinely real, honest, good people. And that does come across, my man. And I want to thank you majorly for that. And it's really inspiring for people like me and others, young and old, who are starting to really wake up and really understand that they've been lied to for a very long time. And I think that's why some young people have also told me that it's not so much that they don't like Trump, they're afraid to leave that cult.
Yeah.
And I just don't know what holds on. I mean, I guess I had that fear too, but it literally is scary now because they don't like this word in the media, but I'm going to use the word. There's a coup happening in front of our face. And it's not funny. It's not cool. And it's not all the Democrats. It's not all the left. And I appreciate you for, pointing that out in your show often. But right now, the right is right. It is on the right side of history. Donald Trump is not a racist. He is not a homophobe. And guess what? I'm in an entertainment business, so I know tons of gays and lesbians. And thank you again. I heard you the other night on a show addressing a gentleman who called in who said maybe the right wasn't for, gay people, or maybe the right wasn't for all these different minorities. And I love what you said because you touched my heart because I totally agree with you. And you said something akin to what I would tell people. There's space at the table for all of us if we're Americans first. And I'm hearing that from my black friends, my Latino friends, my gay friends, almost like there is something in all of us, white folks, anybody. There is some yearning for a really true and honest political party, if that's possible. And it's there right now on the right. And I want to thank every single person that is listening to me right now. Anthony, big old hug, group hug for everybody here. Thank you for really letting me. I'm a person who worked on the Clinton campaign, folks. I was an ACLU card-carrying member. And Anthony, you're going to dig this. One of my big wake-up calls came several years ago when I attended a service for a Martin Luther King Day celebration where they showed the famous march in Washington, D.C., and it struck me as I listened to Martin Luther King that I am the generation that he imagined. One day I will imagine white boys and black, kids growing up together. I'm that generation. And anybody in their 50s listening to me right now, and you're still wondering on the left if you're in the right side of history, you're not. I have never felt, and Anthony, I swear to God, you know people like me. Trust me. I know we don't know each other, but trust me, you know people like me. We're both talkers. And I've rendered you speechless, I can tell. I really want you to know that when I listened to that, I realized that's a big, awesome responsibility. And it was a wonderful thing that I was able to see that horrible, real racism of the 60s disappear. It's still there. We all know that. We all have prejudices, but we can all get along as Americans. And it really almost moved me to leave the party several years ago when a very liberal activist who also was at that same event didn't know the man who was speaking that day. His name was Bobby Seale. He was the head of the Black Panthers. I knew everything about the Black Panthers, and I'm white. I live in the suburbs.
Right.
And this black activist did not know who Bobby Seale was.
Wow.
And it broke my heart. And to this day, I'm a big Malcolm X fan. The autobiography of Malcolm X was in my back pocket almost daily from the time I was 15 years old. My parents raised me to be colorblind, and I'm very proud of that. And so I'm very proud to call into your show, make your acquaintance, my friend. And all you people in the chat, love you to death. I think there's room at the table for everybody. So I just called in tonight to say thank you to those on the right that embraced us. And please, as you see these people, these young people especially coming over to the fold, just try to understand them and embrace them and let them be welcome because they're feeling it. They're feeling the love from you guys. And I thank President Trump for that. I went to a rally and I walked around in a sea of people that I was told was going to be a bunch of racist scumbags and white supremacists. And I saw brown people. I saw yellow people. I saw white people. I saw gays for Trump, Latinos for Trump and almost had a heart attack. Teachers for Trump. The times they are changing, folks. You are on the right side of history, and I thank you for allowing me, my crazy old hippie ways, to leave that other cult and come and enjoy the real life. So thank you, everybody. God bless you all. Anthony, didn't mean to render you a speechless man, but thank you for letting me rob your airwaves there.
I thank you for the
my
call,
man. Thank you
Great
so much.
Call. Thank you,
Thank
man.
you. Thank you for being a great American, sir.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. All right. Shout out to the call. That's what I like to hear. People that are just, they're coming from one point of view politically over here, and then they're realizing, hey, what I was told, it just wasn't really it, man. These are good people. And you're definitely going to find that, man. If you've not been to a Trump rally, to anybody that's on the left that's still kind of on the fence, maybe watching, go to a Trump rally. You'll be totally surprised. If you've never really been around a bunch of people that are on the right and open, the people are the nicest in the world. It's like you're in the room. I can't even describe it. It's just like a love fest. You go to a Trump rally, everybody's super cool, super nice. I was at a Trump rally here. You in this big line for hours. People passing around food. They whatever you need is right there. Everybody's just, you could just have a conversation, make friends. It's a good place to be. And everybody wants the same thing. Ain't no racist or nothing like that. Everybody's cool. Now you go to a rally on the left, I'm not sure what you're going to get. You might get a little bit of anger, maybe. I don't know. I've not been to one lately, but from what I've seen on television, I don't know. It could be the media just portraying the left wrong, but I'm not sure they'll do that. But I'll go ahead and get to my next call now. Nippin, what's happening, boss?
Not much. How are you?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
I just have to turn out some background. Yeah, I was just cutting out the background.
Alrighty.
Yeah, so one subject I forgot. Well, I ran out of time. Not that I forgot, but yeah, the clown debate. That's it. The clown debate. Yeah. There's only one winner, at least for 2020 anyway.
Now,
the earliest the Democrats can realistically challenge for the White House is 2024. Maybe even 2028, by the way things are going.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see them having any kind of success anytime soon. It's looks pretty bad for them.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I don't see it for another few election cycles.
Right.
Anyway, yeah. Happy Thanksgiving, first of all.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Minority support for Trump continues to rise.
It's definitely rising. It's definitely rising.
You know, when Trump first got elected, I had to search on YouTube black Trump supporters. Now I don't have to.
Oh, nah, because we're everywhere. We're growing exponentially. Like when I was first on YouTube, just coming out, it was like you said, it wasn't really a lot of us, but now we're everywhere. So the poll numbers, I think, are backed up by just what you're seeing with your own two eyes.
Yeah. Someone in the comments said Melania 2024. Yeah, as much as I would love to see that happen, it won't. She's not eligible. She wasn't born a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I just thought I'd point that out.
I think Trump Jr. may run.
Yeah, I think so too. But I don't, honestly, I'd rather someone else like Mike Pence or another Republican like, I don't know, someone young like like Mike Braun of Indiana or a young Republican.
Right.
I don't want a, what do you call it, a dynasty. That's when things start to get bad.
Well, hey, I mean, whoever becomes the next person, they got to be good. They got to carry the torch. They can't just let all this energy die out.
I'm with you. Yeah. Trans athletes. I mean, seriously. you're one or the other. You can't be both.
Yeah, I'm with you. You gotta pick. Which I mean, just like, I think the easiest way to go about this would be just to go with whatever your biology says that you are.
Yeah, absolutely. And so yeah, you can identify as Barney the Purple Dinosaur, but your biology is not going to change.
Right, exactly. You still got the same XX or XY chromosomes. That's going to be it.
Yeah, and I actually haven't talked about this Chick-fil-A thing yet. Chick-fil-A. Yeah, I remember when it launched, it had something to do with religion, because all of their branches were closed on a Sunday. I mean, I don't live anywhere near. I mean, I don't live in the US, so correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, they're usually closed on a Sunday, aren't they?
Yeah, they're closed on Sunday, correct, because the owner was very religious, and his son, who is like the new owner, he's also very religious.
Yeah, well, continue the family trend, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. And yeah, so when I thought it was all a rumor that they're thinking of making a Bond girl just a Bond assist, no, I don't think it's a rumor. I think it's true.
Okay.
We're not kidding anyone. The thing's caved into the left, the film industry.
Right.
And what's this thing about people claiming that Chick-fil-A have caved into the left?
It's kind of a long story. You gotta just look into it. It's kind of hard to.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, oh God, I've lost count of everything because I've had such. Yeah, Maxine Waters mocks Ben Carson's intelligence.
Right.
What? Sorry if my laugh is so fake, but I just have to. Yeah. She mocks Ben Carson's intelligence, and yeah, it didn't end well. I mean, he is a brain surgeon.
He's a brain surgeon. That's
you're
right.
questioning a brain surgeon about brain surgery. That makes as much sense as me questioning a footballer on how to play football.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and Michael Bloomberg, out of all people, has decided to throw his hat into the ring.
He's throwing his name in the ring, allegedly trying to become the president.
I mean, he's not going to be the president. Let's just rule that out. But I think he could be the spoiler for the Democrats. I mean, think about it. He is everything that Trump was in 2016. I mean, he had the money, he had the media organization, and everything.
I think the main thing he does not have is like the popularity and the celebrity that Trump has. That's going to be the key difference.
Yeah, and another key difference is, unlike Trump, Michael Bloomberg actually held a political office before running.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't see why. Actually, I do see why, but still I don't see why Bloomberg is trying to bash out all the Republicans using his media organization. And look, if I saw corruption in a political party I was affiliated with, I would call it out. I mean, I would call out both ends for corruption.
Right.
I wouldn't just stick one end and give it a free pass. No. If I saw someone in my government being corrupt, I would say, nah, this person should not be anywhere near a government office.
That's right.
So, yeah. What exactly happened after Maxine Waters mocks Ben Carson? What happened?
it's a long story. Like you got to watch. Yeah. So
yeah. Next, like it's the thing with liberals. Like 1 minute they're your best friend, next minute they can be your worst enemies. Just like in, I think I heard it in a previous call. Ben Carson was worshipped by the left. They had like photos of him in his room. But the moment he decided to endorse Trump, they started to burn everything to the ground.
Of course, that's usually how it goes. It's usually how it goes. But hey, I got more calls on the line, Nippin, so I'm gonna try to get to a couple more before we go on closing on out for the night.
I shall see you on Sunday. Sunday my time, Saturday your time.
There you go, exactly.
I'll see you then.
All right, see you then, man. Peace.
Peace.
All right. Good call from my man Nippin. Let me get to my next call here. All right, Victor, what's happening?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
No problem.
Cool. Caught me in the middle. Tried to season the turkey.
Ah, okay. Getting it the dinner ready.
Yeah. So, anyways, there's good news about Colin Kaepernick workout.
Okay, what's the good news?
One of the wide receivers is getting a tryout, but not Colin Kaepernick.
Hey, that's how it works sometimes. It's like, hey, you're not good enough, Colin Kaepernick, but some of those guys out there, hey, let's get them on board. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Now, the crazy thing is that people kept saying that, well, the NFL was trying to get Colin Kaepernick to sign off his rights. And I actually looked at the waiver. The only thing that they had a problem with is that the NFL said, if we give you this tryout, you cannot sue us. That's it.
Right.
That was it. And I'm like, what's the problem?
What's the big deal? It's like, what would you even sue them about? Like, they're giving you the try. Like, you already sued them and got some money, and they're still giving you a tryout. So just don't keep beating us in the head with these lawsuits. I mean, what's the problem?
Yeah, and people may say that, well, it's because it's a setup. Well, why? If you really believe that, then why take it anyway? And what happened if they give you a tryout and they honestly think that you're not good enough? I mean, I don't have an issue with any organization trying to protect themselves, just like how Colin Kaepernick is trying to protect himself, if you want to believe that.
Right, exactly. I mean, there shouldn't be a problem with that at all.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, the only thing I had with the NFL is that I wish that they probably would let Colin Kaepernick know, and that's only because I'm basing it off my interview process when I was looking for a job. So in my when I was going through the interview process after my postdoc, every time that an institution is giving me an interview, they gave me a list of dates to attend their interview. While the NFL, they told them like, okay, that's let's do it Saturday, and that's it. And for me, I could understand why people say that it may be a setup, because I remember having one job that gave me a interview offer and only gave me that one day, and I could tell from that email that it was a rush and they really didn't want me in the first place. But when I told them I can't make it, then I didn't hear from them again at all. So for me, I could understand where he's coming from, and because based off my job interviews, I could tell which job really want me there and a job that where they're just bringing me in because they need to meet a quota.
Right. But see, I think Colin Kaepernick has to be able to decide from the beginning, okay, do I want to do this or do I not want to do it? So You know, if it's like you don't got enough time and you can't set up or whatever, then you got to say, you know what, maybe I should just pass on this. But see, the thing is, he went to the spot and then went to a high school. So it seemed like this whole thing was planned. How are you going to be able to get to a high school on a Saturday morning without talking to anybody beforehand? You probably had the whole thing planned. And then you got your new shoe there, your new Nike shoe that you just dropped.
Exactly.
You got your T-shirts. You got supporters with T-shirts. So I was like, okay, you had this plan already, and we're just trying to make this whole thing be a big circus to get attention from yourself.
I think that was the key thing is the shoe.
Yeah.
Because after that whole debacle, there was news about Colin Kaepernick debuting his new shoe, and now all of a sudden it's about to be on sale. I mean, obviously it's some type of PR stunt to promote his shoe.
That's right, 100%. Ain't no question.
Yeah. Now let's say hypothetically, just hypothetically, that NFL did try to set him up. Colin Kaepernick was still in the wrong because, as you mentioned before, he wore that Kunta Kinte shirt, which is very dumb that you are comparing yourself to a slave and you want to go back to the slave master.
Right, exactly. That's my thing. It's like, okay, if the NFL, they're slave masters, why would you organize your own slave auction to sell yourself off back to the slave master? It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's like that Willie Lynch syndrome. That's basically it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's all I got to say. Happy Thanksgiving and enjoy tomorrow.
Hey, same to you, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
All right, now. Peace. All right. Great call from my man Victor. Let me get to one more, then I'm out. Now I want to know you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill. How you doing tonight?
Everything's great, man. Can't complain.
Happy Thanksgiving. Ivan again. I'll tell you. He's got them Democrat talking points down.
He does.
But he don't follow it. When that lady in there, Marie Yovanovitch, when she testified, the president had let her go because Rudy Giuliani had went over there earlier in the year, like February, trying to find out what's going on, and especially with her, because she was bad-mouthing the president or whatever, so she got let go. She serves at the president's whim, That's what her job is. It's his foreign policy, not those bureaucrats, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it was. So Giuliani, but also, if you remember, Sleepy Joe, it was February of 2018 when he was bragging. Trump had already been the president for a year. And he was on a show, some kind of diplomatic show, and he said, he went over there. Barack Obama put me in charge of Ukraine. I went over there. He did this in 2018. He was sworn in January 2017. It's almost like a year later, February of 2018 is when Joe was bragging. So Giuliani probably went over there to check on that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because he was bragging on a show saying, hey, I told him get rid of this guy. And then it come to light probably to them that, hey, Biden's son, Hunter, was working for this Burisma while Joe went over there and was holding back the $1 billion. And, it got really heated up there, especially when, the whistleblower. And I did hear the thing about the Dan Bongino thing with the lady earlier saying Turkey's next. He said that he's got some kind of, he does have some good input stuff on his show, and he said he really believes it might be Turkey come up next for some kind of about that 300 missile system they bought from Russia, and I don't know. We didn't give them F-35s or something, you know. They're going to say Trump had some kind of dealings about the Kurds, just like the lady said. But hey, happy Thanksgiving. I know you got other people, okay?
All right, well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. And same to you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Same thing. Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him, but I got to go ahead and wrap it on up right at 11 o'clock on the dot. Thank you all for joining. I definitely appreciate you guys. And thank you to the last super chatters here. Let me see if I can pull everybody up and give you guys a shout out. Thank you to, who do we have? Kitch Hip Cat for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you to C. Baker who said happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Thank you to the Captain Z who says first time super chat, long time listener. Happy Thanksgiving. Also, how do you keep your cool? Lord knows even my patience runs out. Keep on keeping on. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Hey, like I was saying, I'm a cool person in general. I just, I'm not even really, I don't let things bother me too much. I'm just real even kill. And then, like I was also saying, I've seen some of the craziest things you ever seen in your life. So the things that I talk about are really nothing compared to some of those things. But thank you for your donation. And shout out to everybody that came through. Hopefully you guys enjoy your Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Don't overeat, but hey, eat what you want. It's all good. You can have one cheat day or a cheat week, depending upon how long you eat Thanksgiving dinner. But I'm gonna have a nice big meal. I'll enjoy the Thanksgiving. And you guys be thankful for what you have here in America. A lot of people all over the world wish they could be here. Would give anything to be here, but you guys are here as Americans. So be thankful for that. If you're not an American, be thankful for where you are. Be thankful that you have the internet to be able to connect to everybody all over the world. Be thankful for your life. You're still here, you living, you're breathing. So just be thankful on this Thanksgiving. And that's all I got. And I'm thankful to the mods. Thank you to the moderators for doing a great job. We got Michelle A. I see Cynthia Webb in the chat. Of course, we have Eliza Jean. We have Ansel. We have Bill from the Hills. We have Sushi. We have everybody in the chat. The moderators, thank you guys for doing what you do. I'm thankful to the super chatters, to the PayPalers, to the viewers, to the callers, to the sharers, the likers, the subscribers, all you guys. Thank y'all for what y'all do every day. I appreciate you. And that is all I got. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.